The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
When I finished high school, I wanted to take all my graduation money and buy myself a motorcycle. But my mom said no. See, she had a brother who died in a horrible motorcycle accident when he was 18, and I could just have his motorcycle.
You ever agree to something that you wonder how you agreed to that? My brother-in-law was talking about his motorcycle, and he said to me, "You should go for a ride with me on my motorcycle." I was like, "Yeah, it'd be fun to go for a ride on your motorcycle." He goes, "All right, let's go." So we get to his motorcycle, whoa, whoa, hop on. And I don't know how it works, so I put my arms around him. He's like, "You know you got little handles by your seat?" I'm like, "I know that." What?
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weekend.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
All right, now here we go.
This is an underrated Megadeth tune.
One of the most underrated that they've ever made. Moto Psycho. I think the year was 2001. I think the record was called The World Needs a Hero.
That's correct. Moto Psycho.
You can't help it.
I know. I try not
Moto
to.
Psycho.
You have to do it.
Moto Psycho. 100 miles an hour. Moto Psycho. I'm a Moto Psycho.
You're just telling yourself, don't do it, don't do it.
Don't do
It doesn't matter what you say to yourself,
You
Wapple.
did it. You did
still
it.
end up saying Moto Psycho.
You have to do it.
God dang, these guys are cool.
Who played guitar on this album? Was it Al Pitrelli?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, it was Al Pitrelli. Now I got to look that up just
Now,
to make
if you're not a Megadeth fan, you're saying, well, why would it be that difficult to figure out who played lead guitar on this album? You have no idea how many lead guitarists. Dave Mustaine goes through lead guitarist the way Cubby goes through
Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew bottles.
You were right, Josh. Al Pitrelli.
Al Pitrelli, yeah.
This is
Talented guy. Well, shoot. I mean, just name someone from the Megadeth lineup, and they're a talented guy.
So is Megadeth one of those bands? I mean, pardon my ignorance, but if you look at their Wikipedia page and it shows like the people who've played on at certain points, it's just like a long list.
It wouldn't be as outrageous as, say, like Faster Pussycat or L.A. Guns or
Menudo.
Oh my damn, Menudo. It's not as outrageous as some others.
But they've cycled through a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
Yes, the lead guitarists, the drummers are many. That's great that you got us going with that, Cubby. It's our final for this week. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. Well, what have we hit here? Motorcycle Awareness Day or something?
National Motorcycle Day.
What's so funny about that question, Wapple?
No, it was just a great guess.
Because all the motorcycle stuff?
Yeah, well, I never would have thought of it, and I'm just kind of laughing. It was like, wow.
He's impressed.
Yeah.
I've impressed him.
Impressed
So,
laughter.
We've got two comedians talking about motorcycles, and then we play Moto Psycho from Megadeth, and that never would have entered your mind.
Nope.
You're so adorable.
What did you call it? What is it today?
National Motorcycle Day.
National
Are
Motorcycle.
you going to get your hog out today? And by hog, I mean your e-bike?
Well, first thing I'd like to make clear is that every day should be Motorcycle Awareness Day.
Start seeing them.
Yeah, I remember those bumper stickers.
Josh, to answer your question, just yesterday I plugged my motorcycle into one of my garage outlets to charge it up. I might want to go out onto the open road and, on my hog and experience that. You know it, Josh, very well, that unmistakable feeling of true freedom.
Yeah.
I might want to try that. I'll also admit I do enjoy, that bad boy image that comes along with being a rider.
Can you ride a wheelie or anything? Maybe do an endo or...
Josh, I don't have anything to prove to anybody, so I don't even try tricks like that. That's for the amateurs. That's for the young bucks.
The show-offs. I hear you.
Show-offs.
This is really the first year I've missed owning a motorcycle. I had one from 18 years old when my mom could no longer say no. And I've never really seen my mom mad at my dad, except for the time he came with me to co-sign for a motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
She was very against it. My uncle, her youngest brother, raced motorcycles for a long time, so I thought it was cool, and I resonate with that Brian Regan story, the comedian in the opening, because we worshipped him. He was racing motorcycles. He had tarantulas. He had an Atari. He had those Japanese fighting fish. He was everything to us, and he was only 12 years old. He had a leather jacket. He had a jean jacket. Yeah, he always had a hot blonde with him back in the day. He's been on a bit of a dry spell for the last 40 years or so, but whatever. I mean, we really looked up to this guy, and he raced him, but he would tell us these horror stories. And I think because he wanted us to ride someday and be responsible, which I always was, thanks to him. But my mom was very against it because she was around that, and she had heard some of the horror stories, and she'd seen some of the results. And my dad, I couldn't believe it. I told him I really want to get one. And he's like, well, let's go. I'll co-sign for you.
That's pretty cool.
And she was furious. And I could tell she was furious because she was quiet. Which doesn't happen very often. My mom is not quiet very often.
When she's pissed, though, she just kind of
zip-lipped.
Yep.
Not going to say a word, and I thought, oh, he's going to get it.
Yeah, that's kind of like my mom.
I got to tell you, Josh, outside of the motorcycle and the leather jacket, your uncle sounds like a massive dork.
What about the Atari? What about the cable television?
Well, cable television's pretty cool.
I mean, we'd be over there playing Pitfall, feeding his tarantula.
Okay, the tarantulas and the fighting fish?
Yeah, the Japanese fighting
fish. I'm sorry, did I wake up in a different world? That's not dorky?
Sounds pretty sick.
Especially if you're younger, I would have think that was the coolest thing on earth.
My bad. All right, so you were plugging in your e-bike earlier yesterday.
My motorcycle. Suddenly you're not on my side with that? It's a motorcycle.
Oh, I'm just saying some people might consider that a little dorky.
I didn't mean to go after your uncle.
There's so many better things to go after him over. But not that. Not when you're an 8-9-year-old kid looking up to this guy.
Word.
But I forgot completely how I started that. I remember getting on the back of his motorcycle as I think maybe 11. He let me on there, and I put my arms around him, and it was the same type of thing. What are you doing? Yeah. And I'm still embarrassed thinking about it. Like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? He's like, no, hold on to the side. Don't put your arms around my waist.
That's adorable.
Tough spot to be in.
Yeah, I felt, oh, man, I broke protocol, and I understand. I just hugged my uncle. Who does that? Who hugs their uncle?
That's a tough spot to be in.
One of my first dealers, he had a crotch rocket. And
One of your first dealers?
Yeah.
The drug dealer?
Yeah, getting weed from him.
Oh, a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Continue on.
He would drive up to the park where we would meet him and then just skirt and then stop the crotch rocket. And he had the leather jacket and he had the crotch rocket visor, and he'd flip it up and then he'd just unzip his jacket and then just opens it up. There's just a bunch of weed in the jacket. Just cool, dude.
He sounds cool. Mine is the
cool.
selling weed to 12-year-olds part.
I was 18.
I'll tell you what, Wapple knows how to tell a story around here.
It was sweet.
You know, it's funny, Dana, I didn't even consider that he might have been 12.
Meeting in the park.
Yeah, you know what's cool? Selling weed to minors.
Yeah, I know some of you out there don't like us, motorcycle riders, but we're here to stay.
That's the first year I've really missed one.
Why is that?
Due to my sperm count, we got rid of ours in, I got rid of mine in 2011.
What's different about this year, then, that makes you miss it so much?
No idea. I've just maybe because of your love for the e-bike, my new love for the Lime scooter, things like that. I haven't really done anything like that, and I don't have any toys or hobbies.
I get it.
I'll kill myself on one now. It's been so long, but kind of want to get something like that.
Well, I'm glad that you don't.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
I'm sure you still have the skill set for it. I
haven't been. I mean, I've been on one once or twice over the years. But I've got a couple of buddies who have bought new bikes, and they're like, "You want to take it out?" I'm like, hell no. I don't want to be the one that lays your bike down.
You're not gonna. You're a terrific driver. I've always said that. You would pick it all back up instantly, I think. I think you'd remember all of the tricks and the skills that go along with responsibly handling a motorcycle. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about all the other dildos.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's who the motorcyclists have to worry about. Obviously, there's some bad examples. You see those douchebags on the freeway, making a bad name for everybody else. But you're right. It's the people that aren't paying attention.
And I've mentioned this many times. If something happens to you, I'm not working with these 3 other people.
I feel the same way.
I don't need you to be rolled over by a Dodge Durango or something. And I'm, what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to call my brother-in-law at the friggin' Chrysler plant.
2 pumps and a quiver. Jesus.
2 pumps and a quiver.
Said South Park season 13, episode 12. That's all I got. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So funny.
You played a little bit of audio in the intro there.
I think I took it out. Are you when you heard me making it earlier, I had
I'm
this
sorry.
right here, Now, that's about all we can play from that episode. But I remember when it came out, there was a couple guys in this building that didn't ride motorcycles. They rode Harleys. And they wanted you to know, I took my Harley. Harley.
Right. We know the types.
Yeah, so it's like, motorcycle enthusiast, cool, but you got to tell everybody what you have. People get pissed at Tesla drivers for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple, when that episode came out, and they were South Park fans, they refused to acknowledge there was any humor, and we would just walk around and go up to them and go, and it infuriated, no sense of humor. I would have thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I did, but yeah, if I was like a Harley guy, whatever, it was a joke.
You're exactly right. And
infuriating.
It was so obvious because these individuals, any other South Park episode, they were the first ones to walk up and say, "Did you see South Park last night? It was great," right?
Yeah.
This episode that Josh is referring to comes out. They wouldn't acknowledge that it ever aired. They were very offended by the fun that was poked.
Yeah, and weirdly angry about it.
That is weird.
Yes.
Gotta be able to poke fun at yourself.
Did you guys know that Snoop Dogg used to live with a giant cockroach named the Gooch? I was reading that yesterday.
No.
That interested me.
I did not.
Yeah. I don't remember my uncle having any names for tarantulas.
So it was a
missed opportunity.
A pet cockroach?
Or
one that just walked around his house.
Maybe, one that was just there and he kept it. It was a pet cockroach. He called it the Gooch. We had Hissing Jesus for a while, our hissing cockroach.
Rest in peace.
And how long did he lived a while, didn't he?
A while, yeah. Well, my mom and dad started taking care of the thing, and my mom got very involved with it. So it was fed well and taken care of very well.
That's hilarious that your mom took over. The same thing happened when my sister got a rabbit. Oh, she really wanted this rabbit. She promised that she'd keep this rabbit forever and take care of it, and then ended up being my mom's rabbit.
Sure.
And I didn't know how big some of those could be. I don't know what kind it was, but it was huge.
So, nice.
Snoop Dogg grew up with a pet cockroach named the Gooch. Now, I bet I could even figure for you, if you need me to, the background behind the name for the cockroach. Josh, you'd probably be the only other person on the program that could figure it out. Why did he name? I have a guess that I'm fairly certain of as to why he would name the cockroach the Gooch. Would you know?
I don't. There's probably several reasons.
If I remember, on the sitcom Different Strokes, Arnold Jackson, the character Arnold, was bothered by a bully in the neighborhood whose name was the Gooch.
That's the speculation.
Is that what the overall speculation is?
Yeah, I don't know that he's come out and said it, but that's what people are assuming it was from that. He just basically said, hey, I was so poor, I couldn't afford a pet, so I had a pet cockroach. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Snoop Dogg, who at one point had a pet cockroach named the Gooch.
That's very interesting.
I was thinking of you, Ashley, yesterday on the topic of celebrities. Do you know who was in the state of Minnesota?
No, who?
A former love of yours, Ashton Kutcher.
No way. Why was he here?
He was going to Caribou Coffee in Fergus Falls.
Really?
Fergus Falls? No way.
What's going on up in Fergus?
My niece lives there.
Well, I guess
What?
he and Mila Kunis. Yeah, I thought maybe you have something to say about her. They're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going on some sort of road trip. and they made a stop in Fergus Falls.
Well, I'll
That's
be
so
damned.
cool.
And it's funny, like people have been put a map together of the different drive-throughs they've been stopping at. There's North Dakota for a while. I can't remember if they've already been to Canada. They're going to Canada. There's a whole article on it.
Maybe your first celebrity crush, Ashton Kutcher. Would that be an accurate statement, Ashley?
Yeah, probably.
You could have presented him that filthy poem that you read for us years ago. Well, no, maybe it wasn't. The filthy poem that you wrote years ago for Ashton Kutcher. You presented it to us on the air once, and it disgusted us.
Yeah, it did, especially when we knew how young you were when you wrote it. Do you mind sharing it again?
Yeah, sure.
With the proper editing, of course.
No, don't edit it at all.
Oh!
Ashton Kutcher's really hot. I would like to suck his blank anytime past 9 o'clock because he has a really big blank.
And again, you wrote this when you were...
Probably 13.
That's wonderful.
I like
Yeah,
that
you
you just
could've-
Love him.
assumed he had a really big... Or did
I mean,
you know
he
it?
looks like he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess he
He's
does.
a tall guy.
Gives off that kind of vibe.
He does have that big D energy.
Yep.
I've got that little D energy.
Yeah, you could have presented that poem to him up there in Fergus Falls, and
What if he just left Mila and said, take me away?
That'd be incredible.
did he swing by Brainerd and visit Tom Cruise at his cabin?
I don't know if Tom Cruise is in town. He's on a press tour. So he's probably not at his cabin.
Probably not, no. He showed up to a random screening of Mission Impossible in Toronto the other day and just kind of introduced the movie.
He's been going to a few of them.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Imagine you're sitting there
cool.
like, waiting for the movie to start, like, who's this guy in front? Oh my God, that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's pretty stoked about what's going on. He's feeling 3 feet tall,
Yep.
I'd imagine. Tom Cruise, people are saying, has saved Hollywood
Saved Hollywood.
with Top Gun Maverick and now the new Mission Impossible.
Really? So the movie business was really struggling before last summer? Is
With
that
the,
what?
yeah, the pandemic,
Nobody
obviously.
was going to the movies, and then here comes...
Well, shoot, even these big movie companies are just releasing their movies straight on not streaming. Now, that's changed. But yeah, you'd have these big movies that would come out on their streaming platforms right away.
Saved Hollywood.
Saved, yeah, more specifically, the box office. Theaters,
Sure.
Go to theaters.
Well, wow. That might go straight to his head.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, we were talking about it the other day. I didn't know if I'd go back to a theater. Why would I? But once Top Gun Maverick came out, I really wanted to see that in the theater. I want to see the new Mission Impossible in the theater. But I also want to see the new Indiana Jones, too.
Once or twice a year, it's still fun to go to the actual theater and get that big stinking bucket of popcorn with all that, whatever it is. It might be butter, it might be not. I don't care what it is.
Yellow flavor?
Yeah, that once or twice a year. I'll always go once or twice a year to see a movie.
That's good because you got a few months to save up for it, and then you can go.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And the guy, he keeps knocking out big box office smash hits.
And he's probably going to die someday trying some stunt that's impossible.
What do you mean?
He does all his own stunts, like the one where he was underwater for 3 minutes without breathing in one of the Mission Impossibles. He held onto the side of an airplane that was taking off in like Mission Impossible 5 or 6.
Oh.
He does all his own stunts, and they keep getting crazier and crazier, and you wonder when, it might catch up to him.
Do you want to start placing some bets?
That seems
You wanna have
seems a little dark.
Well, you're the one that just brought the topic
Well,
up.
a lot of people bring it up, just how crazy this guy is, that he keeps, he got his helicopter pilot license so he could drive a helicopter through the mountains in one of the Mission Impossible movies.
He's got one of those skydiving wind tunnels in his home.
What?
That makes sense.
What's a
Does he
skydiving
really?
wind tunnel?
It mimics you free falling from the sky. He's got
What?
one of those in his house.
Didn't
Does
you
he-
do that on the air?
Yeah.
That place-
Jealous.
That's how I learned about it. Was the dude told me. He
There's
was
a-
like, "Yeah, Tom Cruise did this to practice how you look when you're floating through the air."
Wait a minute now. A long time ago, they opened up some kind of a deal
What was it called?
at Ridgedale Mall. It's called Fly Boy or
Yeah,
Sky Rim Job. I can't remember what it is. You went and tried it on the radio.
You said it was fun, right?
Yeah, it
Do you
was
remember
a blast.
How high did you get? But I'm talking about height.
maybe like 10 feet in the air.
Oh, but yeah. I'm surprised what you're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And then there's just a bunch of fans and then spikes on the ground.
It's just this huge fan and then nothing covering
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So if you go down, then you just get chopped into a million pieces.
No, you don't.
There's like a net in front of the
Right.
fan.
Okay.
I fly.
Now that now I remember what you're talking about.
I fly is the place.
I fly. Yes, thank you. I don't remember you doing it on the radio. I remember that you did it. I don't have any real memory. Maybe it was a total bust, but
It was like a video thing that we did.
oh, it wasn't on the air. It was a video thing that we did.
Yep.
I thought we played some of it on the air. We did play some of it on the air.
Yeah, we played some clips. From
Okay,
the video.
so you're saying Tom Cruise has one of those setups in his house?
Yes.
What does he have at his cabin in Brainerd?
I'll bet he's got
Movie
one there.
Theater.
Yeah, it looks like iFly's still there. This place looks sweet. I
Yeah,
don't know
it was
if
a blast.
That's really cool.
Especially for someone like me who's afraid of heights, but you want to try.
You would never
skydiving.
actually go skydiving.
No,
10
never in my
feet
life.
in the air. That's my favorite part of the story. 10 feet. Oh, my God. That's almost like you're sitting on top of a basketball rim.
Yeah, I know, right?
My God, 10 feet.
You were way up there.
Yeah.
I bet for you that was miserable, being that high up.
No, because it was just like so much adrenaline, and you're trying to move your body that you don't really think about it. I
Come
guess.
on. What are you talking about? You don't. I'm afraid of heights too. 10 feet is nothing.
So we were in Vermilion, and one of our friends had a room on the 3rd level, and we were standing on the balcony. And
Yeah.
I was getting lightheaded and flush and everything. I had to go back in the room.
Well, sure, but that's much higher than 10 feet.
Yeah.
You said 3rd level?
3rd level.
Yeah,
third
that's what, like
floor?
3 times as high.
Yeah. But still, like everyone else was like, "Really? You can't handle this?"
Yeah, sure. I get a little queasy.
I'm watching on their website, iFly's website, some of the people doing this. It looks pretty cool.
Would you try it, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't make the effort to drive that far.
No.
But if somehow I just ended up there, definitely.
That's a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal.
Yeah, I'm not going from Egan to Ridgedale. That doesn't make
Well, I
sense.
wouldn't
I'm
know.
going to pass by like 3 other malls.
I would
Yeah.
never ask you to do such a thing. Dad Fights 136 coming up later on this morning. Randy and Brad's weekly trivia battle. We haven't had one in a while because of vacation and this and that. Dad Fights 136.
Well, we're just a couple of weeks away from Dad Fight 69 plus 69.
Is that right? Are there people trying to keep you up on that?
Yep, every time. Well, I should say the last maybe 4 or 5 people have been texting in during Dad
Reminders.
Fights. Yeah, don't forget, coming up, Dad Fight 69 plus 69.
I had 4 people already try to do specifically that intro.
Oh, requesting
awesome.
that one?
Yeah. I was like, sorry, I already got someone in line.
You do?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you worked that far ahead.
I'm up to, Dad Fights 146
We'll
right
be
now.
fired by then.
Yeah.
Who is today's listener that gets the opportunity to introduce our Dad Fight segment?
School maintenance, Jesus.
Oh, nice.
School maintenance Jesus. Well, I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
Do you know more details? Did he share what school, or is he comfortable giving that information on the radio?
I can't remember what schools he said he worked at, but he grew up in Lionel Lakes and like down the road from me, but graduated maybe 10 years before me. So I was like, whoa, that was kind of weird.
Sure. Growing up in Lionel Lakes, I can't imagine being able to legitimately say that.
Well, I can.
I don't. What did you do?
We played a lot of wall ball. We climbed on the elementary school.
See what I
made
mean?
Bike jumps.
It's miserable.
Built fires. Yeah.
God, that sounds awful.
Kind of sounds like the same stuff I did in Egan.
But the big thing was we got a Target at one point.
Oh, hell
so
yeah.
then we just went nuts at Target.
Oh my God.
It's funny how that is a big thing when it's even as an adult. We're getting
Oh, yeah,
what?
that's
We're getting
fun.
a Target? Nice.
It sounds so terrible. Anything else going on this weekend?
I'm going to North Dakota.
For
North
what?
Dakota.
Shinedown concert.
Oh, I think you warned us of this before, didn't you?
Yeah.
Shinedown.
I've never been to North Dakota. I've never seen Shinedown, so it'll be an experience.
Really? Never been in North
Never
Dakota?
been to North Dakota.
Shinedown puts on a very good show.
Oh, yeah. One of the best.
Is it just their show, or are they?
Who are the other two bands, Wapple? You were very excited about that.
I think it's Sleep Token and Saint Asonia.
Oh, wow.
I know Saint Asonia for sure.
Yeah, Saint Asonia and Sleep Theory.
Sleep Theory. Okay.
Sleep Theory?
No,
But,
North Dakota is pretty similar to Lino Lakes. Just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Flat.
Do they got an elementary school we can climb on?
Nothing there. There's nothing there and nothing to do. Lino Lakes and North Dakota have that in common.
That Adam Gontier, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Gontier. Yep.
Lead singer. I love his voice.
He's great.
Yeah.
I like the band too, Saint Asonia. It's almost like a super group.
Yeah.
Road trip to North Dakota. Anybody else?
No, nothing.
No.
Which is kind of perfect.
Going to
want-
a Saints game, that's pretty exciting.
Oh, Saints games rule.
Yeah, haven't been to one of those this year.
You haven't? Yeah, I love going to Saints games. We're not too far away from the park, so we like to go a few times a year.
Yep.
Imagine how much it would suck if they were the Lino Lakes Saints.
We'd actually have something to do.
I feel like their attendance would drop a little bit.
I went to North Dakota once to see a rock concert. Josh, you want to know who it was?
Who was that?
Tesla.
Oh, that's worth it. I've never been to North Dakota for a show. When I went to Moorhead for college, we'd go over there a lot for their grocery stores and their movie theater and stuff like that.
Some of you listeners remember this old story. You want to know once what they tried to make us do in North Dakota? They tried to make us all put on clown makeup and have a clown party on a clown bus.
Oh, that was North Dakota?
Yes, that was North Dakota.
Oh, I hate that story. It stresses me out.
That's true. You do not like clowns.
And it's just stupid. You can't expect someone to do that.
It was the stupidest idea that's ever been presented to me in my entire life.
You'd have to assume when somebody brought it up, like, that's hilarious. Like, there's no way. It's a joke. Everyone's messing with me.
I'll tell you real quick if you don't know the story. Me and 3-4 buddies here from the city, 6-1 tours, 9-5 tours, 7-6-3ers. The upper crust of society. We went to North Dakota to visit a friend. Hadn't seen him in a while. Beer drinking, hell raising, right? On night one, it was all beer drinking and hell raising. It was a fun night. Good to see the guy again, staying at his place. For the next night, he says, you know, my North Dakota buddies want to hook up with us and we'll all go out together. And we said, okay. And he said, so, you know, I got, you know, all the clown makeup and everything, and you know, we'll go out tonight. And we said, what? Yeah, my North Dakota buddies, they got this great idea. They rented a party bus, and we're all going to put on clown makeup, and we're going to go around bar to bar all dressed as clowns. So anyway, you guys go have something to eat, come back, and we'll get in the clown makeup. And one of my buddies says, there's absolutely not a chance in hell that I'm going to do that. And we all agreed with him. He said, what are you talking about? Put on clothes. No, it's going to be great. And then you know what else? We're not allowed to refer to each other by our real names. We just refer to each other as clown. So like, say, if you want a beer out of the cooler, you got to say, hey, clown, get me a beer. And then the other guy will say, thanks, clown. So anyway, the makeup is, we said, we're not doing it. That's the stupidest effing thing we've ever heard. He was totally insulted by. He couldn't. He's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to explain. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to our North Dakota buddies. They're going to be pissed. And we said, we don't care if they're pissed. We're not going.
Hey, clown.
Hey, clown.
We're not going.
He wasn't even suggesting you give each other names like Squeaks or Bubbles or Hip Hop or TikTok or something.
Josh, my mind was just so filled with disbelief and rage, just like the rest of my buddies that came from the cities up in North Dakota. We weren't thinking straight. I didn't think to ask. So we pissed the guy off. We felt bad. As ridiculous as this idea, we felt bad. He's a friend of ours. So we said, look, you know, we still want to get on the party bus. You know, we still want to go out with you. And we'd like to meet your North Dakota friends, despite their horrible taste in what makes for a fun Saturday night. We'd still like to, you know, what can we do? And he said, well, okay, fine. They did make up T-shirts.
Oh, my God.
That said Clown Party 2008 or something. If you'd put on the T-shirt.
Well, that's a little better.
They'll allow you to get on the bus, right? So we said, okay, we'll put on the T-shirt. And then we really didn't even put on the T-shirt. We just got on the bus. You should have seen how disgusted these morons were with us that we weren't willing to play along. They gave us the foulest looks. They didn't want to meet any of us because we wouldn't play along with this effing stupid gimmick. We get on the bus. A very quiet ride to the first bar because the clowns are shunning us, right? And they got the whole works, the big nose, the feet, just idiots. We get to the first bar, we order a beer, my 612-952-7363, but we all get in a circle, and one of us said, I'm not getting back on that bus. And we agreed. We agreed not to get back on the bus. Never saw those people again.
Wow.
That's weird how passionate they were about this bit.
Yes. Yeah. We took taxi cabs the rest of the night. Have fun on your stupid... So have a good time in North Dakota. You'll be lucky if you get out of there without someone coming up with a dumbass idea like that.
When do you leave?
Sometime after the show today.
Is the show tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, Friday night show in North Dakota?
Friday night show in North Dakota.
Are you going to get Booze Cruise drunk as you were on our Booze Cruise?
I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Yeah, you were pretty hammered.
I know.
I called your mom.
Did you?
I told her I was concerned.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to tell on you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Little of both.
Hell of a deal. It's Friday. Hope things are looking up for everybody out there. And like I said, Randy and Brad will be diving in here later for Dad Fights. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
For a limited time, Sweet Deals is offering qualified listeners the vacation of a lifetime. An all-inclusive 5-day, 4-night stay in a suite for just 2 adults and up to 2 children in Cancun, Mexico for just $299. This opportunity is valued at more than $2,600. That's right, a $2,600 vacation for $299, and it's all-inclusive, meaning all your food and drinks are included. Attendance is required at a presentation for Vacation Club ownership, but who cares? There's no purchase necessary. And you have a 30-day money-back guarantee if you change your mind. Do not miss this exclusive luxury vacation offer from SweetDeals.com. $299 for 4 nights at an all-inclusive resort in beautiful Cancun, Mexico. Go to SweetDeals.com right now and snag this once-in-a-lifetime offer. That's SweetDeals.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, tough story right from the get-go here. This won't be easy for me to say. But this is how I pay the bills, son. In France, a lady pulled the skin off of her husband's penis for him.
Oh, was he uncircumcised?
She was mad at him.
She degloved his wiener.
Ooh.
Yuck.
Those
Yuck,
pictures
is
are
right.
awful.
Oh, there's pictures?
You've seen that?
No, of degloving.
Oh, yeah.
Classic degloving.
Okay, I'm writing down de-gloving, and I'm going to ask about that when the story is over.
Well, follow that up with don't look up on the internet.
I won't. This lady was mad at her husband. So she grabbed him by the wang, real hard, and she tore the skin off of it. Oh, and then she pulled some of his ear off for him too.
Oh.
She was mad. The husband was taken to the hospital, and they laughed and laughed, but it wasn't funny to him at all. And the wife was arrested and charged with aggravated assault of the penis. They got in a fight midnight this past Monday. These two were supposedly both drunk. She accused him of cheating. He said, "What? No." And that's when she grabbed him by his Johnson. The story goes on to say that large parts of the skin of his penis and his foreskin were ripped loose and hanging off of him. And a stray cat from the neighborhood was gnawing at the loose skin.
That's what they do.
And there were ants and bees there, too. And then a stranger approached the scene with a grade school quality stapler, and they wanted to help by stapling the skin back on. But the cat had become pretty territorial of the skin at that point, and the cat chased the man away. And that's when the bees moved in. And when the bees moved in, they tipped over a large salt shaker, Josh, and a glass of Tabasco sauce that was sitting near the man's penis. And the table salt and the Tabasco spilled onto the torn skin.
Just all too common.
And then the guy realized he couldn't find his car keys. And you ever had this happen? He wandered around the house all pissed off because he couldn't find his car keys, and all the while they were in his pocket.
Right next to the penis skin. How did some of this penis skin get in my pocket? Okay, I warned. People are saying via text here they looked up degloving and they're like, oh my God, it's terrible. I said don't look it up.
Yeah, do not.
I've never seen a picture of it, but I know what it is. I don't want to see it.
No.
God dang it, now I got to look it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
This husband and wife have both actually been charged with assault on each other. So these two, don't you think it'd be best, Josh, if these two just stay together instead of continuing this type of behavior in a brand new relationship? Would that'd be best for society, wouldn't it?
For society, certainly, but how often do we hear that these terrible things happen? Say, you know what? I love her.
Yeah, right.
I love her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put up with the de-skinning and the bees and the ants and the cat. The losing the car keys thing, that was my fault.
That was on you.
Don't forget the Tabasco sauce and the salt.
Yeah. I mean, somebody came over with a sax. That was kind of cool.
Sweet.
I got it a little better.
Boosted my spirits a little bit.
I was embarrassed when I reached into my pocket for some change and I accidentally gave him some degloved foreskin. Hey, keep the tip, I said, and everyone laughed.
This friggin' couple, if this is how they're going to operate, tuning each other up every time they have too many Steve Weisers, pulling skin off of each other's genitals, if that's how they're going to operate, they're better off just staying together, because if they break up, then they're going to take that violence onto a new relationship, and we as a society will fall further and further down the drain. So I wish the two of them the best of luck. But you're probably right. He loves her because she tears it up in the sack. By God, she does.
Tears it up and
literally.
off.
Okay, tell me about degloving. What is this now?
Well, it's just this. It's tearing the skin off.
In a medical fashion?
I don't know if that's medical.
Like a professional will deglove you, or it's a slang term for someone tearing the penis, the skin off your penis?
It's a type of injury, right?
Oh,
where the skin comes off like a glove.
Oh, no.
It happens to people's hands the most. That's why they call it degloving. Like, say you burnt your hand.
Sure.
Yeah, and then someone just came and rubbed it.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be
okay,
taking off a glove, taking off a layer of skin.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to be
Cool.
sure, I'm going to look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Do it.
Fact check, actually. We can never be too sure with her.
That's true.
I won't look it up.
These are the conversations where I just picture people loading up the podcast on their phone. I'll be listening to the different podcasts this morning. These degloving comments. Pretty disgusting. All right, I'm going to look it up again.
Again.
Make it the wallpaper on your phone.
Unfortunately for me, we're going to jump over to video games now. I'm pretty lost when we talk current video games, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. A game called Baldur's Gate 3. Anybody familiar?
No.
I've heard of it.
They're going to let players customize their characters' genitals. While we're talking gear here.
I wish we had a choice, in the womb.
Yeah. You got to kind of pick and choose which attributes you wanted.
Yeah.
What would you do if you had to do it all over again? Would you go with both?
No, I just meant if you could customize your genitals, right? I mean, meaning I would make mine larger.
Oh, I understand.
kind of move everything around a little bit, make the sack a little bit smaller or something. You create characters in games.
I'd get rid of the 72-degree curve that mine has.
What are you talking about, Wapple? When you play video games, you see small sacks? What are you talking about?
Like when you create a character or something,
I've never done that before.
You move the nose up and down and the eyes, and you can change locations of where everything's at.
That sounds pretty gross.
Did you ever play Madden, or you've played some sports games? Did you ever customize a character to kind of look like you?
Oh, I don't know if I ever did that. To look like me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh, yeah, do that and max out all the stats. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to max out the stats.
Max out the stats.
Well, sure. I remember playing Sega Hockey 95 or something and creating myself and putting myself on the Dallas Stars roster. I put myself on a line with Darian Hatcher and maybe Dave Gagne and maybe Russ Courtnall. Or Jeff Courtnall, even, either of the Courtnall brothers. Probably Richard Matvichuk on defense. But anyway, and I would boost my stats or boost my rating or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know you could create a character and alter its facial features and whatnot to look like you. That's kind of nightmarish.
That was a few years after Sega NHL 96. that function came.
Was like 20 years ago.
It still looks a little creepy, but it's much better, definitely.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is a big game. Character customization is a big part of it, according to this story. You can pick between different races, classes, appearances. You can pick your character's genitals. You can add wrinkles to your face or vitiligo pigmentation. Your body type, your pronoun, your character's identity in the world. Wow.
It's kind of crazy, the level of detail nowadays.
Mm-hmm. I always get caught up in it for way too long when I start a video game. Will be like an hour and a half.
Well, like playing The Sims, if you're making your character and you do different clothes, you have to pick your swimsuit, your pajamas, your formal wear, casual wear.
Yep.
I have no idea.
And then all of a sudden it doesn't save and you have to do it all over again.
So you guys put in that level of work before you even start playing the game?
Yeah,
dude,
definitely.
It sounds exhausting.
Sims, you'll get maybe 12 hours even before starting to play, building your house, building your character, your family, all this stuff.
Look, Wapple, we don't need to talk about your Sims career.
I did that. I spent too much time when we got our Nintendo Switch creating, what do they call it? A me... where you create your own avatar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're picking your eye color.
And shape and nose style.
Yeah.
That's more of a basic one, too. That's awesome.
And I thought, too, I put way too much effort in this.
Anytime we talk about Sims and Wapple gets going, we find out just how truly evil your little Muppet ass really is.
Yeah, it always kind of makes me want to go sit in that third studio for the rest of the show.
So I've talked about on The Sims that you can do these different mods and stuff where you modify the game where you can basically see the people having sex now. They have a new mod where you can go to the strip club.
What game is this?
The Sims.
Again with The Sims.
Yeah, and you can have your person, their occupation, be a stripper.
Dude, cool.
You could do that back in the day in Duke Nukem.
Now, totally. Beef Cannon Jesus has texted the program, and he knows Baldur's Gate 3. He says it's Dungeons and Dragons, but in a video game. Okay? If you want to get an idea what they're doing. Now, what remains to be seen here in this Baldur's Gate Part 3 is whether your genitals actually appear in the game much. It says here in front of me something called Cyberpunk 2077 or 2077 showed your junk in its pause menu when you removed your pants. Can anyone comment on that?
I haven't played it, but Keanu Reeves was a big part of that game, was he not?
Yes.
Or did he just promote it?
He was a pretty big part.
Was he?
I think he did character voices or something.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I knew he had something to do with it.
Wow, man. You guys put in a lot of hours on those games without even actually playing the game. You're putting on your clothes. You're aligning your genitalia. You're.
Do you play Call of Duty still, Wapple?
Not as much as I used to.
Did we talk on air yesterday about Homelander from The Boys being in that game?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he's in it, and he's pissing everybody off because, just like he does on the show. God, I hate Homelander.
He sucks.
But he's too powerful.
Oh.
And they're saying, well, wait a minute. This is kind of a realistic game. Why is a soup in this? You know, why is Homelander a part of it? And so I guess, he's really difficult to kill, and his laser eyes just wipe people out.
That's not fair.
That's what people are saying. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Got to train like that South Park episode.
It's like Call of Duty's kind of like, everyone's the same character. There's no like statistics or any, you got to get better and then you get gun upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to kill Homelander somehow, though.
Yeah. And
in a video game.
I was thinking that would put a big target on your back. Like everyone would just go after you.
If you're Homelander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teenage pranksters, Cubby. Police in St. Louis are on the hunt for 2 teenage girls who turned a City Hall fountain into a bubble bath as part of a prank. And it cost the town hundreds of dollars to fix. They poured laundry detergent into the water fountain in front of, this is a town near St. Louis. A town called Webster's Grove. They poured laundry detergent into the water fountain before a 4th of July parade here a couple of weeks ago. 4 inches of foam poured out of the fountain. Suds were piling all over town, and everyone thought it was cute. But city officials are pissed, and they say that it's going to cost taxpayers money to clean the fountain.
Yeah, I thought it was funny until I saw that part.
Yeah.
I could see them not having any idea that it would cause some damage.
Right.
Like, well, we did clean the fountain. We put some soap in there.
Yeah, exactly.
They mention here that it takes special types of chemicals to clean out the this and drain the that, and we got to shut it down. We got to drain it. We got to get guys from the city to come out and the wastewater, and it's going to cost us. So a teenage prank has turned into kind of a nightmare.
Back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure.
You guys know they also let you have sex with a druid in a bear form?
Oh.
That could be fun.
You can't do that in real life.
No, you can't.
No.
For no reason whatsoever. What system is this on?
You can have sex with someone in a bear costume?
Yeah. A bear form.
Bear form? Anybody want to see a big old 23-year-old hairball?
No.
If you want to, it's on 93x.com. It's gross.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to see it.
Yeah,
I
I
can
can't
show
remember
you.
your comment. You messaged me something about how gross it was.
Yeah, I said the gross hairball is up.
Oh, that's what I gotcha.
I could show you a 52-year-old hairball. My pal Vinny.
Didn't your dad have a buddy nicknamed Hairball?
You're crossing up a couple of nicknames.
Oh,
There
I
are,
am.
2 buddies of my dad's, and mine, I'm proud to say, that I still drink with regularly. You're mixing up hairdo and dirt ball.
Oh, so there's room for a hairball.
Yeah, those are if the 2 of them had a baby, and
how do they feel about
to
each
be
other?
honest with you, I think they would be interested. If hairdo and dirt ball had a baby, it would make sense that they named it hairball. Dirt ball has a son named Red Ball.
Oh, yeah?
Because he came out of the chute with red hair. That's where you went wrong, but you were damn close. There's a pretty lady on the internet who has a giant 23-year-old hairball, and she shows it off to folks when they stop by the house. Her name is Davina Burnell. She's 43. She's been flaunting this huge hairball for years. Her daughter, Monica, posted a video of her mother and her hair wad. Her mother loves to shock people and finds it hilarious. Someone said this is up on our website.
It is, yeah. Pretty lady. Gross hairball.
She is a pretty lady. 23 years ago, this Divina lady began saving her hair after showers and collecting it and put it in a bag. And here we are 23 years later, and now it's, God help us, it's about the size of a soccer ball.
Ooh. You're looking at it now? It's huge.
It's a good size hairball.
You know weird collectors, Josh. You've mentioned you had a buddy who collected his toenails for some bizarre
finger
reason.
and toenails, yep. I knew him when he was maybe, so I was in high school. He was older. He was maybe early 20s. And his mom started saving him when he was, first time they started trimming his nails. And then he just kept it up. And he had it in a very large cauldron I mean, it looked like something out of Game of Thrones.
So
That's where he
weird.
kept it. What do you mean?
Kind of like a ceremonial thing almost.
It was odd. Very odd.
You know, that's when I realized I was losing my hair, when I checked out the shower, the tub, one day. Because when I was a young guy, I had gorgeous hair. I looked like Sebastian Bach in the I Remember You video.
That's a cool do.
And I was at a buddy's house. He had a brand new wife, and she was a pain in the ass. And I spent the night at my buddy's house, and in the morning I took a douche. And then I was like, well, we'll see you later. And my buddy pulled me aside and said, dude, the wife's pissed. And I said, pissed about what? And he said, she needs you to go into the shower, clean up the hair that you left behind. And I said, what are you talking about? I didn't leave any hair. Yeah, she said, it's just horrible. I said, because his wife was a pain in the ass bitch, I figured she was exaggerating. And I went into the shower where I'd just been and pulled the curtain back, and it looked like somebody had shaved 6 German shepherds in the friggin' tub. All my hair was coming out, Cubby. And and I never noticed it, but when I took that shower and washed my I Remember You haircut, I couldn't believe it. It was everywhere. She had reason to be upset.
Humbling, I bet. My wife loses so much hair in the shower, I don't know how she has any left.
It's amazing,
Honestly, it's like a Star Trek tribble. Every time she gets out of the shower, she leaves one behind.
I never even noticed when I do, because the whole like blonde thing.
Sure.
Or maybe I don't lose that much. I don't know.
I should, I'm not going to. Now that I think about it, it's gross. She threw away a hairball yesterday it's like the size of a grapefruit. And
really?
She's got hair left, and you never know. I don't understand how you can lose that much.
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's from her head. You know what? Maybe it's not.
Oh.
Maybe it's somewhere else.
Well, here's the deal. What I have left, and it's not much, it still grows like a bastard.
Mine grows pretty quick, too.
So
I shave it almost every day, and it grows fast.
I don't know how you have the patience to shave it every day. I'd go nuts.
I have to, otherwise it hurts, because I bick it, right? So if I let it go too long...
It hurts?
It hurts, yeah, ripping that hair.
So maybe your wife just has, extraordinary hair-growing abilities like the two of us do with what we have. With what we have left. You want to learn a little bit of something about the insect kingdom while we're sitting around here?
Yeah, I like bugs.
On the program with the stupid news? You do like bugs?
Yeah.
I do not.
Josh would probably rather not hear about insects.
I grew up with too many of them in a Minneapolis basement.
Has anyone checked any of you folks lately for spider mites?
No. I think I'm overdue.
No.
Ashley, if you and your gal friends make a trip up to a cabin in the woods this summer, I'm happy to check all of your friends for ticks when you get back.
We're supposed to in 2 weeks.
I'll check you for ticks. Here's the deal. Male spider mites undress female spider mites by stripping off their skin before banging. Kind of sounds like something that should be used in a horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet there's something like that.
Some lunatic tells the cops after a killing spree, I strip them of their skin before mating with them. That kind of a thing. That's how spider mites do it. They do. Scientists at the University of Vienna studied the sexual habits of spider mites. Somebody's got to do it, I guess. Male spider mites will, quote, undress their female counterparts before spider mite sex. This stripping occurs when a female spider mite reaches maturity. There is what they call here intense competition amongst the male mites to land the prettiest babe spider mite. Just like up at the Rocks nightclub back in the day at St. Cloud State University. There was intense competition for the babes.
You just wait it out. Wait it out. That's all you got to do.
Male spider mites will look for females nearing maturity and guard them from other bros.
Were you a waited out guy, Dana?
What exactly does waited out mean?
You just wait to the very end and hope all the other guys leave?
Yeah, there probably were times that would happen. Yeah, for sure.
Male spider mites are a lot like one of my cousins. They want to have as many babies as possible. So there you go. Maybe one or two of you fellas can use this information in order to dump a creative line on a gal. As the two of you are getting fresh, you can say, "Girl, I'm going to strip you down like you're a female spider mite." See where that takes you.
I'm going to strip you of your skin.
I'm going to rip your skin off. Like my wife, she has a family member who, like one of your cousins, they decided to keep going even past 12. They're at number 13 at this point.
Keep making babies. By damn, some people out there really love animals. They do. Really love them. Some goofball in Mexico, who also happens to be a mayor, has gone ahead and married an alligator. He goes by the name of Victor Sosa. He's the mayor of a town called San Pedro Honolulu. Damn, I went to school with a kid named Pedro Honolulu. No, I didn't.
Small world.
I didn't. So the mayor, he married one of those alligators. She has a name, too. The alligator's name is Alicia Adriana.
Pretty.
Apparently, this was part of an ancestral ritual meant to bring good fortune to his people. Well, cripes, folks in town sure can't say that he's not doing all he can as mayor to help them out, right?
True.
Sosa, the mayor, he says he's in love with the alligator. He said, I accept responsibility because we love each other. That is...
right.
That is what is important. You can't have marriage without love. And then he completely loses me here, Josh, when he says, I yield to marriage with the princess girl.
Princess girl.
Wait a minute, what now?
Dana's first marriage was an incestual ritual.
According to the locals down there, a marriage between a man and a reptile has taken place for the last 230 years to commemorate the day two indigenous groups of people reached peace through a marriage. All right. I'm not one to step in the way of tradition. Now, tradition also says that before a guy can go ahead and marry an alligator's...
That's hilarious. There's a tradition that spells this out.
Before a guy can marry an alligator, they dress up the lady gator in a pretty dress and haul her around house to house so folks can hold her and dance with her.
Oh, just a little sundress.
Ooh, I like a sundress. Yeah. I do now.
Man, I think I'm going to pretend I'm not home when they swing by my place.
Me too.
Because someone's going to get a picture of me dancing with an alligator wearing a dress, and then rumors are going to fly around town.
So how'd your buddy Nick get canceled? Well, let me tell you about this picture.
Funny story.
That's the deal down there. I feel like going out to Gators tonight and having a few cold ones. Who's with me?
Oh, boy, we used to have some fun at Gators, didn't we?
They closed the joint years ago.
They sure did.
Where was Gators?
Well, there was one at the Mall of America, and there was one up there off of Bass Lake Road in Plymouth.
Oh, I didn't know there was two of them.
Yes, my pals and I, we used to let her buck at Gators once in a while. You know who would have pretty good luck at Gators? Merzo.
Merzo? I could see why. He's charismatic. That was I can't remember if I said this on or off air, but one of my favorite parts of the boat was hanging with Merzo.
He said the same thing about you. Okay, we got to go. But before we do, finally, some good news out of that god-awful garbage pile they call Florida. There's a city down there called Apopka. And for the very first time in that town, they're going to elect a dog mayor.
I like when they do this.
They've been searching for a new mayor. By God, they have. And they said, F it. Electing a human hasn't worked so well. Let's let a dog take a crack at this. It can't get any worse. So the city of Apopka is looking for its first, quote, honorary dog mayor. They've narrowed down their candidates to 5 dogs. Just in case you're looking to email them and bitch. All these dogs in the running are residents of Apopka.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Want to make this official.
The candidates include Kobe, an 8-year-old Siberian Husky, Alaskan Husky Malamute Siberian. Murphy, a 3-year-old Basset Dachshund. Asher, a 10-year-old Border Collie. and cadaver search and rescue dog from the Apopka Police Department. That's not fair.
That is not fair.
He's already got an in.
Yeah, not fair.
It's not friggin' fair. The hero dog's in the running for mayor. It sniffs
rigged.
out cadavers. And
What's
what
the
else
point of even having this? I almost said erection. I don't know why. Election.
It rescues children from wells and whatnot. Of course, that the other unlucky dogs that have no chance. Lola Bear, a 1-year-old something or another. Jarvis, some sad-ass old 9-year-old Australian Shepherd.
Lola Bear. Cute.
The winning candidate will fulfill their mayoral duties for 1 year. The runner-ups will receive some kind of a commissioner gig. Sad-ass Lola Bear just sitting there. Oh, I'm the commissioner. Oh, that's great. That's what happens when you have to go up against a hero dog in an election. Now I'm just a commissioner.
Yeah, they got no chance.
No.
Candidates will make special appearances at community events.
I was in the debate.
Over there peeing on a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Ah, Mr. Mayor.
These would probably be the only times I would go to community events. Like, dude, the dog's going to be there? Yeah.
I think that'd be the only time you'd vote.
Yeah, true.
They're going to announce a winner in August. They're going to have an inauguration party.
Huh, little puppy party.
But that's fun. Finally, a political conversation that doesn't make me want to puke my guts out. Sports is next.
Okay.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
One of the only things I like about Hard Knocks is the voice of God who narrates it, Liv. I hope I get to meet him. But look, I understand the appeal with us. Obviously, there's a lot of eyes on me, a lot of eyes on our team, a lot of expectations for our squad. So they forced it down our throats, and we got to deal with it.
Aaron sort of likes to control narratives. Won't be able to here. He can be prickly. But I will say this. The downside to being a quarterback with an opinion on vaccines and opinions on media and wanting his own voice, being viewed as polarizing and building his brand. That's why the Jets got it. You get Aaron Rodgers, this is what you get. That's the downside to being Mr. Personality, Mr. Vaccine. I don't disagree with everything Aaron Rodgers has said about politics or vaccines. But when you become Mr. Polarizing, you're noisy in the offseason. You want to tell us where you go in the offseason. Condescendingly, snarkily, sort of take jabs at lots of people. This is what HBO wants.
The gas bag, Karen Rodgers. He doesn't want to be on that show. What do they call that show again?
Hard Knocks.
He doesn't want to be on the show. He says they're forcing it down our throats. I'm not going to watch anyway. I don't care. Who was that talking about the gas bag?
Colin Cowherd.
Oh, sure.
I mean, yeah, is there a more interesting off-season story than this drama?
No. I mean, who cares what the Bears are doing?
I mean, the Hamlin stuff with the Bills, that'd be interesting, too.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a point. I mean, when you make yourself such a spectacle, which he's done, I mean, of course it's going to attract attention.
Yeah, you have to expect that kind of thing.
Exactly. Hey, coming up in a half hour, Randy Shaver will join us along with Brad Ryder for Dad Fights 100 plus 36. Brad will be calling us from Nashville, Tennessee. He's on vacation. So if you think he bitched a lot about our phone connection while he's in Egan, just wait. What I'll tell you this time around is simply this. The Twins open a 3-game road series against the Oakland Athletics tonight. Tonight's game begins at 8:40. You can watch it on Bally Sports F in North. I'm ready for baseball again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I know they haven't looked like, the greatest ball club in the world, but I love watching the Twins. I'll be watching tonight. Our guy Dick Bramer calling the game in Oakland. Who the hell knows what's going to happen when they're in Oakland? They're broadcasting from a friggin' garbage tank. I hope that wouldn't. I mean, I don't want Dick to be hurt, but wouldn't it be funny if the opossums attacked he and Glenn Perkins live on television? Just one of them just ran up and snatched a nacho off of Dick's plate or something like that. That'll be tonight, starting a 3-game series. Like I mentioned, Dad Fights coming up, but even before that, Josh's News is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
We're all juggling life, a career, and trying to build a little bit of wealth. The Brown Ambition podcast with host Mandy and Tiffany the Budgetnista can help.
HGTV's Paige Turner.
People are wanting to buy a home. Is it a buyer's market? Is it seller's market? Is it neither? It's neither. If you're in a position to buy a home, and if it makes more sense to own than to rent at this time in your life, then buy the house. Just don't buy the house thinking in 6 months you're going to make a $400,000 profit off of it, because that's not there anymore.
Brown Ambition.
Wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Okay. My computer's not going to work.
Oh!
Thought that was on your end, Wapple. I was just about to look at you and go, what the hell are you doing?
I'll take it.
Computer
It's my
froze
fault.
up on you?
Yeah. Gosh.
Talk dirty to
This
it.
is the third time this week it's done.
Call it a whore.
Like how? Angrily?
You whore.
Oh, like that. Try one more.
Whore.
Nope. This is incredible. All right, try it again.
It's been a while since this thing is locked
Yeah.
up to that level.
Do it again.
Whore.
What if it was
There we
on
go.
the end of your block? If your family, your spouse, your kids were seeing that type of activity in your neighborhood, would it bother you? We are out there trying to make a difference for the community. Just like neighborhoods that we would want to live in, we're trying to create that for everyone else.
A member of the Detroit Police Board of Commissioners has resigned in disgrace after he was caught in the act with a prostitute in his car, and then he asked officers if they could, quote, help him out. Undercover narcotics agents from the Wayne County Sheriff's Department spotted Brian Ferguson getting a beej from a known sex worker about 7:15 a.m. on Wednesday.
For my information, they came upon his vehicle. He was having a sex act conducted on him.
He was ending his day, right? Or was he starting his day with that?
I don't know. I'm not much of a morning action person, but there's all types out there. Some people like to get her done right away in the morning.
Maybe he works night shift.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's got a board of commissioner. That's not your main gig. Maybe you got a side gig. You're right. Maybe that's the case. But he does have an interesting excuse.
7:15 in the morning. He's got
on a Wednesday
sex worker in his lap.
Yep.
I think you called it a beej.
Yeah, well, I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
Captain Jason Bates said he told officers on the scene of his position. He said that then he asked the deputies if they could help him out.
A title or position doesn't make him above the law. Obviously, the severity of this situation, it was obvious what was happening. It was a prostitute that's known to this team.
Now, he claimed...
What do you mean help him out? Like help him finish? Or help him out like give me a break and let
Give me a break.
Okay.
After... Wait. More than one of you thought he meant like, hey, help me achieve this orgasm I paid for?
That's what I thought.
Oh. No. Like, hey, give me a break.
Sure.
You know, I'm a commissioner, don't you know?
Uh-huh.
He claimed the woman, who he said he didn't know, just hopped into his truck and, quote, pulled up right on her.
I hate when that happens.
Ferguson was issued a misdemeanor citation for indecent or obscene conduct involving a sex act with a prostitute. He had said earlier in the day he'd be stepping away from the board before announcing his resignation yesterday.
Well, and that's something.
Yeah. Just a warning for everyone. I left the graphic parts out here, but the following story is disturbing, even without all the gory details. Everybody cool with that?
Yeah,
Yep.
fire away.
Ready.
I'm cool with damn near anything that you do.
I have a clip to play in this story, and I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'll give you a heads up there, too. My computer sucks today. A Chicago man's been accused of killing at least 6 kittens since May. And then he would buy look-alike replacements of the animals so his mom wouldn't become suspicious.
Really?
Prosecutors charged 22-year-old Thomas Martell after police reportedly became aware of the alleged cruelty last month. The man's girlfriend gave authorities disturbing images and videos she found on his phone, including one picture of a living kitten captioned, "Just before I murdered her." Prosecutors claim he also recently told his girlfriend he enjoyed killing cats, and he had been like that since he was 8 years old.
I wanted to scream, and then I wanted to cry,
And then I was like, I wanted to faint.
At one point during his alleged spree, his girlfriend said he kicked her out after she told him that he had to stop buying cats, only to immediately call asking for more money to buy another kitten. Martel turned himself in to police on Monday.
Put him down.
Pretty sick, bro. Yeah.
100%. That's very big serial killer vibes, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
I don't know how you
there's
fix
no
that.
serial killer vibes in there.
Not sure how you fix that and that he'll ever be, it'd be safe for him to be out amongst the rest of us.
Good point, Cubby, but I want to get back to this portion of the story where he would then buy stuffed animal-type replicas of the cats that he killed so his mother would think they're still alive?
No, replacement kitties.
Oh, not fake cats.
He would kill a cat, and so the mom wouldn't find out. He'd buy one that looked just like the cat.
For whatever reason, I had it in my head that they were not real cats. They were replicas, as in a fake
No.
cat. And I was wondering, my God, how stupid is this mother of his?
For real.
Too, but I'm sorry, I blew up.
That only works if you're trying to sell a dead bird to a blind kid.
Well, no, it's a real bird. You just tape its head back on.
Yeah, okay.
Jail personnel said they discovered Wednesday an accused fraudster had hidden a bullet beneath his balls. Police alleged 23-year-old Michael Keanu Brennan, utilized stolen information on a credit card to pay for a $3,000 17-night stay at a vacation home in Indian Rocks Beach, 2 blocks from the Gulf of Mexico. When he was arrested at his rental, police found numerous driver's licenses, checks, social security cards, credit cards, and debit cards in all different names. He reportedly copped to buying an identification off the internet and used it to buy the lodging. While being booked into jail, he was warned that additional penalties would apply if he was hiding drugs or contraband, though he claimed not to be carrying any. An unfortunate jail deputy located a .22 caliber round of ammunition during a strip search, positioned, quote, underneath the suspect's testicles.
God, that sucks.
I'd be worried if I sneezed, I'd shoot myself. Upon discovering the bullet, he was hit with an additional felony charge.
Did you guys know that when you get strip searched, they got to look under the balls?
No.
What a miserable gig.
A Tennessee mother attacked an elementary school bus driver because the driver wouldn't let her son be dropped off at a different location. Police say a Memphis elementary school student was on his bus ride home when he didn't get off at his regular stop. The student asked the bus driver to take him somewhere else, police said, but the driver said it was against the rules and didn't let him get off at a new stop. The student called his mom, who drove up to the school bus a short time later. The 30-year-old mom got out of her car carrying a baseball bat and started swinging it at the passenger side door, breaking the glass. She walked around the bus with the bat to the driver's side window, at which point the bus driver opened the front door to let the student get off. The mother used the bat to hold the door open and then climbed up the steps. She swung it at the bus driver, hitting him repeatedly in the arm and breaking the rearview mirror, police said. Then the mom left the bus and drove away. The incident happened in May, but the student's mother was arrested and charged on Monday.
Isn't that interesting? When we were kids, if I ever came home and said, Mom, the bus driver didn't drop me off where he's supposed to, my mom would say, well, you better walk then.
Yeah, I mean, he was just following the rules. He's got to bring the kid where he's supposed to go.
Nowadays, there's a lot of parents where if their child is wronged in any way, they'll come running at you.
My mom would have laughed and been like, okay, idiot, you should have been paying attention.
I was pretty annoyed with this mom until I saw her mugshot, and I think, you know what, people make mistakes. Sometimes people do things out of character, and she's a 9 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Will you let me in on this dirty little secret, Josh?
Yeah, I will. I'll help you out in a moment.
When you get a chance.
A mother faces charges after deputies said she used her children to help her shoplift from a Florida Walmart and then abandoned them to run from law enforcement when they were caught.
Oh.
Investigators said surveillance video caught 37-year-old Katrina Singleton directing and assisting her children in taking a shopping cart full of items from the store. Footage showed Singleton's 10-year-old child walking out with the shopping cart of merchandise, where officers approached the kid and recovered that merchandise.
Many of us are parents, and you can't help but imagine the fear in that child as he had to endure that experience.
Police tried to find the mother to get her to come meet him, but surveillance video showed her leaving the store from the opposite side of the building, where she then took off courageously. She was arrested yesterday.
That's awful nice, Mom. Appreciate
just left the kids there. Come on. A Minneapolis man allegedly 25 times in a span of almost 6 months stole from a TJ Maxx. The same TJ Maxx. The 19-year-old is accused of stealing nearly $6,000 worth of merchandise from the TJ Maxx store at Shingle Creek Crossing Shopping Mall in Brooklyn Center between October and March. According to the criminal complaint filed on July 5th, police responded to a theft call at the store March 3rd. The suspect was identified in the Applebee's parking lot near the store as being the thief, having allegedly attempted to leave the store with merchandise totaling about $140. They soon learned the store had already filed an active trespass notice against him in the months prior. Surveillance footage and reports confirm he stole from the store once in October, once in November, once in December, 6 times in a 5-day span in January, 14 times in 12 days in February, and twice in the same day on a day in March. If convicted, he faces up to 15 years in prison and a $30,000 fine.
Yeah. Those employees must be pretty checked out. I don't blame them.
Well, I think they knew.
Oh, they just didn't care? Yeah.
You can't really do much anymore other than call the cops. A Florida man was arrested for allegedly robbing 2 banks within 2 hours in broad daylight Wednesday afternoon of last week. First happened about 1:15 p.m. 35-year-old Dwayne Gilmore reportedly passed a note to a bank teller demanding money, implying he had a weapon. He was unsuccessful in trying to get the cash, so he left. About an hour and a half later, the man allegedly tried to hit a Bank of America about 20 minutes away from the first one. He again demanded money from the bank teller and this time left the bank with an undisclosed amount of money. Unfortunately for him, he was arrested shortly after.
Tellers don't hold any money in their drawers. That was like a letdown when I worked at banks. I was like, I thought I was going to be responsible for like a buttload of money. This is nothing.
You mean, so they have money, obviously, but
Yeah,
you're saying
but
nothing worth.
Definitely not worth robbing a teller, no.
A passenger on a recent helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon nearly made a very wrong move. Video captured the pilot stopping a tourist from grabbing a lever that would have sent the chopper plunging into the Grand Canyon. As he grabbed the idiot's wrist to keep her from killing everyone on board, the pilot is seen yelling at the clueless woman, who seems to think the cockpit controls are her playthings.
No, that will kill us.
The tourist was apparently about to yank the lever that controls the rotor brake, which stops the propeller from spinning. I've been told that's important. The lever can only be used on the ground, not hundreds of feet in the air. After it landed safely, the other passengers thanked the pilot for saving their lives. Then in Nigeria, thieves stole the lighting system for one of the runways at Nigeria's busiest airport just months after they were installed. Oh, it's tough to land a plane, I'd imagine, without those runway lights.
God, yeah. Isn't it kind of frightening that there's a kill us all lever in a helicopter?
Yeah. Reachable by the moron in the front seat?
Yes, easily accessed by... not that I'm ever getting in a helicopter anyway, but damn.
I took that tour over the Grand Canyon. I was not tempted to interfere with the controls of the helicopter, but that was a blast.
Did you enjoyed it?
I loved it. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Did it ever make you a little bit, did you get a little sick to your stomach?
No, it was real smooth.
Okay.
And when we got on, the first thing the guy did was put on some sunglasses, the pilot.
Dope.
Cool. The second thing he did, started the Top Gun theme song.
Dude.
And I knew I was in the right place.
Yeah.
A United Airlines passenger has been charged with 2 counts of simple battery after being accused of grabbing a fellow passenger's leg on a flight to Florida and refusing to let go. While on board, a passenger accused him of being disruptive and at one point grabbing her leg. The woman in question, Claudia Mondello, said he refused to let go.
He was a tall guy with long arms and long hands. He just grabbed me by my leg, and then he would not let go. I was like, stop touching me, leave me, let me go.
A representative for United Airlines said United Flight 1379 from Dulles International to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International arrived at the gate and was met by law enforcement following a passenger disturbance during taxiing. That passenger was arrested and customers then deplaned normally. The passenger was escorted off the plane after it touched down. Earlier this week, a United Airlines flight to Amsterdam was forced to divert to Chicago after a passenger disrupted the flight over an issue with his meal choice. And back in April, the pilot of a United flight was forced to turn back hours into the journey after an unruly passenger sat in a crew seat and began shouting nonsense.
Why?
People are fun. They keep it interesting. The Netflix adaptation of the post-apocalyptic novel Bird Box was a sensational hit for its platform in 2018. In fact, The Sandra Bullock thriller was watched by more people in its first 28 days of release than any of its other original films. And beginning today, the series heads overseas in Bird Box Barcelona. Less a direct sequel and more a simultaneous anthology chapter, the film centers on a survivor navigating the streets of Barcelona while trying to avoid eye contact with the ambiguous invaders who, if you see, you die. Do you guys see the first one?
No.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah, I saw Bird Box. I don't remember anything about it. That was quite a few years ago.
Yeah, it was all right.
So this is an ongoing series now.
Yeah. Yeah, so, at least they made another one here. So Bird Box Barcelona.
You know, I know a few people, Josh, and I bet you do too, where if eye contact will kill you, they're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's the strangest thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. To the point where you think, are they just really bothered by me, or they just can't make any contact?
Do they not like me?
Is there something interesting happening around me?
Yeah.
That is the worst.
Do I exist? Yeah. Am I not even here?
It's like they're looking past you, like, are they looking for somebody cooler to talk to?
Today on Apple TV Plus, the premiere of Foundation Season 2. Based on the award-winning novel, the story chronicles a band of exiles on their monumental journey to save humanity and rebuild civilization amid the fall of the Galactic Empire. Season 2 takes place more than a century after the Season 1 finale.
I wonder if he gets her done. I wonder if he destroys them all.
I don't know. They'll probably get her done, or they'll come close, and then let us know maybe in Season 3. Today on Amazon Prime Video, the series finale of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Then Sunday on Prime Video, Goliath, a 3-part documentary about NBA legend Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, I haven't seen any of that just yet.
Will Ferrell celebrates his 56th birthday on Sunday. Tomorrow, Forrest Whitaker turns 62, guitar legend Joe Satriani 67, and former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura will be 72.
Ain't that something?
Birthdays today, Conor McGregor 35, Imagine Dragons singer Dan Reynolds 36, actress and game show host Jane Lynch 63 today. Finally, best of luck to Thomas, whose dad let us know he's taking his driver's test in about half hour. Everybody say good luck to Thomas.
Good luck, man. You got this, dude.
Yeah.
No chance, dude.
You can always take it again.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, just have fun this first time. You can take it again. Best of luck to you. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The many different ways I must have creeped out Jake Owen. And it's kept me up most of the night. I'm a little tired. I got to be honest. You were hugging him? I was hugging. I was patting him on the stomach. No. I'm like, you're my quarterback. You're my quarterback. And Jake Owen's going,
Yeah.
I am, because he started to sink into it. I love you, Jake Owen, for doing it.
You got to be so embarrassed.
I am embarrassed. I told you, I stayed up most of the night. I kept going through parts of the conversation.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, how did Jake just stay with it and not laugh at me?
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
What's all that noise, Cubby?
That's one of the guys from the Dan Le Batard show thought he was interviewing Aaron Rodgers, but instead he was interviewing a country star who looks strikingly similar to Aaron Rodgers, except for he's nowhere near as big.
A country music singer.
Yeah, Jake Owen is his name.
That name rings a bell. Jake Owen.
I love this song.
Maybe I'm thinking of Kevin Owens. I don't know.
Just made my day playing this.
You're a fan of this?
Yeah.
This is the Jake Owen project?
Yeah, I really like this song because the part where he says, I got a dog named Waylon. One of my buddies named his dog Waylon off after that song.
It doesn't
I'm not
sound
buying
like
it.
a title to a country song. It's called Down to the Honky Tonk. Wouldn't have guessed country by the title.
We got Brad and Randy swinging by now, don't you know? Randy Shaver live from Maple Grove's finest old folks home. Hi, Randy.
Good morning.
And Brad Ryder live from the hottest tourist destination in America today,
you're not
Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, Brad.
Good morning.
What's going on down there?
We've got a couple more days left down here, playing some softball, surviving the heat. Not realizing that I have a lot of people that listen to this show that are also on our team and on these teams, so that's good. So shout out to all the Minnesota Stars parents listening right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's a long tournament, Brad. That's a long week.
We got down here Monday. Yeah, we got down here Monday afternoon. We played 2 pool games, won both of those. We played a couple games yesterday, won one, lost one, and now we're playing at least 2 today. If we lose one of these games today, we're done. If we win, we keep playing into tomorrow even.
Are you hoping they lose then?
No, I mean, I understand that mindset, but they're actually playing really well. So when they play well, you want them to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're not playing well, then you're like, let's just go home. But yesterday when we lost, it was actually a little disappointing because we would have been into the semifinals of this tournament if we would have won yesterday. But now we got to try to come back through the losers bracket.
Is it still just hotter than Dutch love down there?
Yeah, yes, it was. It's been in the 90s every day. The afternoon I played golf on Wednesday. I'm not kidding you. It was 98 the entire time we played, and it was muggier than it is obviously in the Twin Cities. It's a different kind of muggy down here.
Do you get any shade, or is it one of those where there's just...
No.
Oh, man.
You're just hoping for the breeze every once in a while, and every once in a while you'll feel a little bit of breeze, but it's stifling.
Every once in a while you get lucky and there's a really nice shaded place to sit. Some stands they work out. Yeah.
No, it's tough.
Does it bring you back to the days of running through cornfields in the summers up there in Clara City?
It does actually remind me of the days out walking bean fields and picking rock and doing all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. That's the kind of heat that you're feeling down here. But,
Did you ever, I hope I used the right term, a friend of mine told me a story over the weekend that was just fascinating. Did you ever detassel corn?
Oh. No, we didn't do that. I walked a lot of soybean fields and pulled a lot of weeds out of soybean fields and did that, but I never had to detassel corn.
Like for a summer job, you were a kid, you'd go out to the farm and help the farmer out by pulling up rocks and weeds out of a soybean farm. That's kind of what you did?
Yeah, you'd walk through a row. You'd take like 4 rows, 2 on each side of you, and you'd pull weeds out of the soybean field.
Okay.
Yeah, up and down, yeah.
Randy Shaver, you're an Iowegian. Did you ever go out and were you ever a farm hand?
I was not. I never detasseled corn. I had a lot of friends who did that in the summertime, usually in July, August, but it wasn't me.
And I know we have a lot of farmers in our listening audience. A friend of mine down from New Ulm, my buddy Cal, greatest athlete I've ever known, on a side note, Calvin. He grew up in New Ulm, and in the summers when he was a kid, he would detassel corn in farmers' fields, and he said it was absolutely the most miserable job he's ever had and could ever imagine doing again.
I knew some people that did, and they just had the exact same experience.
Calvin's not the tallest guy in the world, so he's walking, they bring you out there, and I know there's got to be people texting right now that know everything about it. They bring you out there at the crack of dawn, right? And so there's dew and moisture all over the corn, and Calvin is reaching up to detassel the corn, and all of the water falls on you. You're soaking wet and you're freezing immediately because they have you out there, just before the break of dawn. And then, of course, by noon, it's scorching hot, and you cut your arms and your hands, little like paper type cuts on the corn. Oh, that was a terrible story.
Well, part of the reason you're trying to get out there so early in the morning is so that you can try to be done by 1 or 2 before it gets super, super hot outside.
He said they'd get done around 4 or 5, and then they took a big school bus out there. They came from town and go out to the boonies, and he said on the school bus, even 14-year-old kids are just passing smooth out. They're exhausted. What were you going to ask, Randy?
I've always wanted to know, why do you detassel corn? What's the reason for that?
I didn't ask him why, but I bet there's someone in our listening audience that could tell us why. Brad, do you know why?
I honestly don't know why, because we never did it. I don't know. I don't understand why either.
Yeah,
I know why we walk soybean fields, because if you don't pull those weeds out, they'll strangle the soybean.
Sure.
So
that
you got to
makes
get the
sense
weeds
to me.
out.
I don't know why you.
It says it's pollination control.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Nebraska.gov.
No, they would know.
To prevent unwanted pollination. Do they have corn in Nebraska? Are you guys familiar? Have you ever heard that
I'm not
one?
sure.
I don't think so.
You
It's,
think?
it's a sunflower
I knew-
husker state.
I knew we would get some text messages on this now. Shotgun Messiah Jesus. I grew up in New Ulm as well and did the same thing your friend Cal did. It was brutal. And now the text messages are rolling in so fast, they're hard to keep up with. Left-handed specialist Jesus. Your friend's description is exactly right. So left-handed specialist Jesus has some experience detasseling corn. Sounded brutal when he explained it to me. Another listener, hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus. Try walking sunflowers, even worse than detasseling. Anyone know anything about walking?
No.
I don't know anything about that.
So, Randy, you never got involved, even though you were surrounded by farms, I'm sure, in your...
I actually never got asked to do it. I never looked into it. Like I said, I had friends who did it. Described exactly what you described. Brutal. Hated it. But made pretty good money at the time to do it. I just never did it.
That's fun.
Is it still done by hand?
Good question.
Everybody know?
I assume it is. I have no idea.
We're getting plenty of text on that. Oh, Brad, on a side note, listener says, while you're down there in Nashville, your jet skis are out of gas and they're running low on beer up at your cabin.
Well, if they could refill them both, that would be great.
Well, you've been spotted. Some people have sent us pictures of you in Nashville. Nothing
you have
incriminating yet.
You have a stalker in Nashville.
Oh, boy.
I do. Okay.
Mind your P's and Q's.
You're looking pretty fit in this picture, too.
And you
Really?
look, you look
very
tan.
Very tan as well.
Josh is right. There's someone. You mentioned that a lot of the parents of this softball team that you're following, they listen to our show.
I actually hung out a little bit. Not to bring up a weird topic, Josh, but I hung out a little bit with your wife's ex and your daughter a little bit last night out on the patio. So.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, it must have been late because she texted me like at 1:15 a.m. this morning. So.
Well, I was in my room way before then.
Thank them all for listening, Brad. All these folks that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, they actually wanted to be part of the broadcast. They were actually asking if they could be part of this morning, and I said I'm not sure how that would go over.
Oh, they just wanted to jump on and say hi.
Well, kinda, yeah. I mean, they wanted me to do this little segment out on the patio outside, and they all come out, and I said, well, if you help me with dad fights, maybe, and then they decided not to do that.
some of the people you were with.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite and a least favorite parent amongst the folks that are down there?
You have to, right?
There's got to be one dad that the two of you argue about strategy and maybe the lineup and who's playing.
No, actually, this is a really, really good group of people. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that. It is.
Now, we have more text coming in on detasseling corn and other brutal farmhand type of jobs. East Winstead Jesus texted in to say he detasseled corn for years. He would have to do it before football practice, and he said it was hotter than the inside of a cow when he was out there.
People are saying it's done by both hand and machine now. Some parts you have to still do by hand.
Oh, what a gig. You guys, I've talked before about my old man leaving home as a 12-year-old to be a farmhand. And that was his life all the way until he left for the service after high school got out. And he's got some stories. I mean, he was tough. He was tough. He was doing jobs that most 12 and 13-year-olds couldn't handle. And one of my favorite jokes that was ever dumped on my dad from a friend of his was, my dad hates fans, and I do too. Sleeping in a bedroom with a fan running on you, I can't stand that.
Oh my gosh!
I love that.
I can't sleep without one.
Yep,
I know,
Randy.
You guys are mental cases.
Love it.
In fact, I'd say we took a little one on the road with us in the car.
So my old man, if there's a fan anywhere nearby, he can't sleep a wink. He hates it.
Wow.
And his buddy said, well, that's because up until you were 18 years old, the only fan you ever knew was a cow's tail swinging in your face. And that was the truth. Shaping Christmas trees is a sucky job, according to Big Rocks into Little Rocks Jesus. Shaping Christmas trees. I didn't know that was a thing.
Me neither.
Yeah, making sure they're perfect triangles going up and stuff like that.
I just kind of thought they came out the ground like that,
Yeah, I
Wobble.
thought kind of God made them that way.
No, you need to kind of shrub them. Like shrubs. Gotta.
I had
trim
no
those.
idea.
Kind of like, when you clean things up a little bit down there, Wawa?
Yeah, do you get festive? Make a little Christmas tree around the holidays?
I also use my Manscaped razor.
Christmas tree, a Dorito, whatever.
Yeah, the Dorito.
Dorito. You mean like the little crumbs at the bottom of the bag, or the nicely shaped
Oh,
ones?
you dirty son of a bitch. Have you started speaking in a southern accent or anything yet, Brad?
No, but you hear a lot of it, man. You do.
You got a cowboy hat? Did you buy a cowboy hat?
No, but a lot of the girls on our team did. Like my daughter bought a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and
Cute.
they got all dressed up.
Those aren't
and-
cheap.
No.
Have you started wearing those jeans with the bedazzled pockets that I always see at the...
Oh, God, I don't understand how anybody down here wears jeans any time of the year, as hot as it is.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Whenever I'm around a country crowd, I notice they like to wear those jeans where all the seaming and the pants they're very
They're bejeweled and all
bejeweled.
that. Yeah.
And what's that all about? Anyone know?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it. I've been seeing some videos from down there, and I haven't seen anybody. I've seen definitely the cowboy look, but not the bedazzling.
What about horseback riding? While we're talking about farming and such, who's the most experienced horseback rider amongst us?
Never been
Not
on a
me.
horse. Never will go on a horse.
I've done it maybe 6 times. Where does that put me on the list?
I think I was
Same. I'd
3.
say about 6 times.
That's pretty good, Cubby. Wait a minute. Who hasn't ever been on horseback?
Me.
Oh,
Horses scare me.
they do.
You
They're
lie?
way too tall. Why are they so big?
They are tall.
They are tall.
The first time I saw one in person was at the state fair, and I just remember being like, "Well, this is unnecessary.
Well,
Why
you
are
have
they
to
so
shape
large?"
them as they grow.
Yeah.
In the shape of a Dorito.
Well, maybe we ought to get you out to a place, whatever they call those places.
Get you out to
Maybe.
a place.
A riding
Like a ranch somewhere?
ranch. That's the word. A ranch.
Any interest? Would you try it out?
Maybe.
When we were kids, we used to go horseback riding every summer, and then of course, again, back to my old man being this, farmer type character growing up. He had a lot of friends who had horses, so my brother and I got put on horses when we were very young, and boy, one of them tried to kill my brother.
Oh, yeah?
We stopped by my dad's buddy's farm, and he had a few horses wandering around. And, hey, you want to get on this new horse I got? Says the farmer guy, and yay, we were little kids, and I got up on the damn thing, and it was as tame as can be.
That's the one I want.
They got me on, they pulled me down off the horse. They put my brother up there, and that horse was not interested in anymore. He about kicked my brother over a tree. It was a hell of and he made it.
Well, that's what happened to me.
You'll feel it the next day. You will feel it.
Horseback riding?
Yes.
Randy, you've never
that's
done
true.
it?
I've ridden a horse a few times, yes.
Did you enjoy it?
No, hated it.
I've tried. We've mentioned this before. The galloping or running. I'm not a fan because of the testicle pain. And I've tried the standing up. I've tried the sitting tight. I can never get it to work. They get me every time.
Yeah,
I want the oldest, slowest horse that's got nothing to prove.
The one that's just got a couple months left.
Yeah, we used to do it. I liked it. I did. Randy, what is it about it that you hated so much?
Just can't. I'm not in control. That's, I guess, the best way to put it.
I get that.
Not in control, and
you can act like you are.
Yeah,
but you more or less are not, unless you are a professional, unless you are very experienced.
You take this however you want, but I don't like riding anything with a brain. I'm with Randy. You gotta have. I want to have full control. I feel like I've got none. Shy Jesus said this. I didn't know this. The N on the helmet for the Nebraska, that stands for knowledge. Were you guys aware of that?
Twins start up the second half of the season tonight in Oakland. Boy, I bet Dick Bramer's excited to be back broadcasting from that park.
Yes, with all the possums.
8:40 tonight on Bally Sports North. They're going to go with Kente Maeda to get the ball rolling in the second half against the Athletics.
So the Oakland A's have a minus 248 differential, which means they've been outscored by 248 runs during the course of this year. It is by far the worst team in Major League Baseball by more than 100 runs almost.
Dang.
That's how bad of season they're having. And yet, Kansas City has almost the same record.
Jeez.
So this is a chance to get well right out of the gate. And from what I was reading on the Star Trib this morning, there's a lot of conversation about what's going to happen in the second half of the season. And is Baldelli's job on the line? Falvey's job on the line?
Sure.
They might be. This team had high expectations coming in, and the pitching certainly has been there, no doubt. But, man, the hitting has not. So
yeah, the lineup has had their problems.
But having said that, the Twins are the only team in the Central with a positive run differential. They're plus 27. Everybody else, including Cleveland, is in a minus number. Which, I mean...
So, man, if you can pick things up, if that lineup could turn things around...
all you got to do.
You'd think you can own the division.
That's all you have to do.
You'd think you could.
Start finding a way to manufacture runs. It doesn't have to be the long ball. It can be the small ball, the Billy ball. Remember the Billy ball? The Billy Martin ball?
Sure.
Whatever it takes to score some runs, because they've got the pitching. The fielding has been okay, but... Man,
unfortunately, that's not their mindset, though. I agree. That's what's so frustrating is that you're right on everything you're saying, but that's not their mindset. That's not how they're operating.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight. By the way, that kid that got his brain scrambled by a 116-mile-per-hour line drive at the Home Run Derby is doing okay.
Oh, that's good.
Thank goodness.
Didn't look good.
No.
Did you see any more of that documentary Quarterback last night, Josh, with Kirk Cousins and the kid from Kansas City and the older player from Atlanta?
Yep. Mariota? Yeah, we
like
watched all of it, but like I said, I just watched the Vikings parts. That was it.
That's what I heard a lot of people are doing. They fast forward through the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm a Kirk Cousins fan.
Are you?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, seems like that
good
way.
family. Yeah, definitely.
I'll be damned, Brad Ryder, if there aren't still rumors going around that your old pal Jimmy Bottles is dating that Shakira gal.
Well, wasn't she seen at one of the finals games or one of the playoff games sitting courtside? So,
General Soreness and Shakira, by God.
I can actually see that. I can picture that for some reason.
They were spotted having a, quote, cozy dinner in London, England. They met up at 10 p.m. and didn't leave until nearly 1:30 in the morning.
Whoa.
Folks there at the restaurant said that Shakira was wearing strappy black sandals and pink lipstick, and so was Jimmy.
Who wore it better?
Who wore it better?
And like Brad said, she came to watch him play in the NBA finals.
Sure.
When the Heat were playing the Denver Nuggets. And then they reportedly began following each other on Instagram after the game. Shakira is recently separated from some dude. They had a kid or two, and then he cheated on her.
Oh, my God. How would you even think about cheating on her?
How do you know when you got balls and confidence? You cheat on Shakira, who I just learned who she was recently, and wah-wah-wee-wah.
I had her poster on my wall in high school.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
And she's got to be in her mid-40s, and she's still,
46.
Yeah.
Calm down, Dana. Calm down. Have you ever watched her dance, Nick?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Nick, did you see the pants she was wearing?
The pants she was wearing when?
In the photo.
Oh, I didn't see any photos. I've just been reading about Shakira
yeah, you got to
and
see
Jim.
these photos.
Oh, I didn't know there were photos.
The pants she's wearing are the Hardy Boys pants.
The Hardy Boys pants, like they wore back in the how do you call it, the era. What was that?
Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era.
Yeah, they got like the green seams and everything.
Well, I got to check them out. Yeah, she's recently single. Some dude cheated on her. And Jimmy Bottles, of course, just broke up with Josh's mother.
Why would you do that?
I don't know why I did that.
I thought you were cool, man.
I don't know why I did it. It's because
he
the parents
was
are listening.
linked to Selena Gomez for a while too, I think.
Oh, really?
Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
She's in one of my favorite movies. What's that movie again?
Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers.
You know what I'm going to do, Nick? Just because you did that, I'm going to start the video to Hips Don't Lie from Shakira, and I'm going to pause it, and I'm not going to continue it.
That's torture.
I don't blame you. I had that coming. A great man once said, He said, "You gotta let me bang, bro." So let's let the old boys bang.
Let me bang. I do let you bang.
Oh. Gotta let me bang. I do, bro. I do let you bang.
I had secondhand embarrassment for those guys watching that.
How could you not? That might have been one of the worst and most ridiculous things that television has ever aired. One grown man, if you guys don't follow this, one grown man wants to fight another man. Okay? You following this so far?
Yeah.
And they refer to, in this group of people, they refer to fighting as banging. So the first man wants to fight the second man so badly he begins to cry. A third man steps in to hold back that first man, and the first man, while crying, says to the third man, "You gotta let me bang." The third man says, "I do let you bang, bro."
And keep in mind, he's, well, maybe not keep in mind, we haven't said it yet, he's shirtless during this time as well.
I don't think anybody had a shirt on.
Two of the guys didn't.
A listener says Shakira busted her boyfriend cheating because she found a jar of jelly in the fridge and nobody in the family eats jelly except her man's new girlfriend.
Oh, boy.
Huh.
If I'm not mistaken, we've made our way smooth up to Dad Fights Part 100 plus 36. We have. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dad Fights is our weekly trivia battle between our pals Randy Shaver and Randy's greatest enemy. Aside from time and gravity, of course.
Which I'm losing to both.
Randy's greatest enemy, the loneliest of the lonely, Brad Ryder. Today, no grand setup, nothing too elaborate here, nice and simple. At least the premise is simple. After watching this year's Big League Home Run Derby earlier this week, we got dongs on our mind. Can't shake it. Dongs.
Well, you can.
Oh, my.
Dongs as in home runs, dingers. Ding-dongs. So today, here's what we're going to do, by God. We will name for you a big league ballpark. What you two monkeys will have to do is then tell us what player is the all-time leader in home runs at the aforementioned ballpark. Which player hit more baseballs over the fences at a particular park than any other swinging D? Like, for example, if I said Target Field Ski, home of the Minnesota Twins. Who has hit more dongs there than anybody else?
Gosh.
As a joke, I'll say Edwin on Carson alone.
You just want to hear the song, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you.
Because it seems like he hits a home run every time.
No. Wouldn't you think, Brad Ryder, you'd want to
No,
guess?
I know it'll be somebody from the Twins.
Well, yes. Okay.
Probably Morneau. I don't know.
The answer is a former contributor to this here radio show.
Oh,
Dozier.
Brian Dozier.
Oh, my damn. Dozier. Obviously, it would make more sense that the career home run hitter, career leader in home runs at any ballpark is going to be a guy who played there regularly.
Sure.
By the way, as far as a player from a visiting team that has smashed more home runs at Target Field than anybody else, that answer would be Salvador Perez of the Kansas City Royals.
Well, he's had more chances to play there. That makes sense, too.
Right.
He's played a long time.
But you guys don't need to worry about visiting players. We're just talking about, you don't have to worry about visiting players.
Okay.
Sounds very overwhelmed.
Now, we will have that info for you, along with some other danalysis for each park, just for kicks. It's going to be fun. What player hit the most career dingers at a big league ballpark? We got some new parks. We got some old ones, completely random. Just like Josh's women used to be back in the day.
That's not.
Wow, Josh, you're just getting picked on today.
Well, that was a compliment. The first one, yes, I was picking up. I took a cheap shot. I went with the easy mother joke. Will you forgive me, Josh?
Of course. I forgave you instantly.
Here we go. A head-to-head competition. You want to be the first to shout out the correct answer. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. That means you get a point. If you're correct, you'll hear the butt.
Incorrect.
What did I say?
Correct. You said correct.
I didn't mean to. If you are incorrect, you'll hear the but. That means... That means you get no points. You can steal an answer if your opponent answers incorrectly. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary is how we operate here for Dad Fights. Our intro is being handled by School Maintenance Jesus.
This is School Maintenance Jesus, checking in from somewhere in Dakota County. Father of one beautiful young lady.
Hi.
And one handsome little man.
Hello.
It's that time of the week again, so with no further delay, it's time for the main event.
Are you not entertained?
Fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 foot something, weighing in at 30 pounds of ass and 5 pounds of hairspray, freshly back from his all-American ball and chain road trip, Randy, Yes Man Shaver. Fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 foot something, usually calling in from inside a grain silo somewhere west of here, now from Nashville with more excuses, Brad, my cell phone sucks rider. No kicking, no biting, no eye gouging, or hitting below the belt. When the bell rings, come out swinging and may the best man win. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
This is Dad Fights 136.
Ah, fantastic.
That was adorable.
That was cool. That might be one of the cutest ones we've ever had.
I mean, we've had, obviously, the gimmick is called Dad Fights. We've had plenty of moms and dads, intro the game and mention their children. I think this is the first time their children appeared on the bit in the intro.
I hope you sent that to him. Did you, Wapple?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
I just have a suggestion here before we begin. And again, Dad Fights 100 plus 36. We're looking for the career home run leaders by stadium. Just a suggestion, Wapple. You are the official scorekeeper and the official timekeeper. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job. I'm not. But seeing how these aren't really, you both know the answer and you're racing to get out the correct answer, maybe give the boys a little extra time to think about it. You following what I'm saying, Wapple?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because what do you give them now, 10?
We give them 10 seconds, about 15.
Just whatever. You play it by ear.
All right, I'll feel
Which is like actually 5 seconds with the phone delay. See, I had to get a phone shot in there somewhere.
So I'm just saying, because some of these I think are going to be a little tough. Maybe give the boys some room. Good luck to you both.
All right. We start with American Family Field, formerly Miller Park, in Milwaukee, of course.
Ryan Braun.
That is the correct answer, as indicated by the bell. One of the things American Family Field is known for is the sausage race, which happens in the middle of the 6th inning. For years, it was a 4-wiener race between the brat, the Polish, the Italian, and the hot dog. But in 2007, they added the chorizo to the mix to salute the growing Latino population.
That wiener race is fun.
Have you seen it in person, Dana?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was thrilling.
Yeah, it was. It was more exciting than the baseball game.
Oh, you guys have both seen it in person?
Yeah, a couple
cool.
times.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is it better than the guy who dresses up as
the Flash
or
the
whatever?
Freeze or whatever? Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
No, it's not better than that.
That looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. That's the best gimmick that any ballpark's got going right now. That's Atlanta, isn't it, Randy?
Yeah.
Has anyone beaten the Freeze?
Yes. I think he has lost.
One person did. Yeah.
Just one.
I think. Don't they give him a head start or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They give him a long head start. Yep.
He's like a track star. That guy.
That is
track star.
That is a cool
I don't
bit.
think I would have gotten that one, but you're just going to give us the ballpark, right, and no other clues, right?
Like I said when I yes, we give you a ballpark. You name the career leader in dongs at that particular park.
Any guess for the visitor who hit the most dongs?
In Milwaukee?
Yeah.
In Milwaukee?
Gosh.
No idea.
Frank Thomas? I don't know.
Miguel Cabrera. with 26.
Cabrera.
Oh, I don't think I said how many home runs Ryan Braun hit. 173.
Oh,
wow. That's a lot.
He had that hilarious herpes story, didn't he?
I don't remember.
He's a good friend of Karen.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
That makes perfect friggin' sense. Don't you remember Ryan Braun? And Ryan Braun had such a great career going. He was the
just
face.
Fell off the end of the earth, though.
Well,
his career.
Well,
was...
he got accused of enhancing himself too a little bit.
Yes, you guys don't remember this? So he was the face of that franchise. He gets accused of what's the word? PEDs or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "No, I'm taking this or that because I have herpes."
Yeah, he claimed it was because of a herpes medication.
Had herpes.
1-0 Randy. Your next ballpark, Coors Field in Colorado.
Todd Helton.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
We're tied at 1.
Good one.
Correct, Brad Ryder. Todd Helton hit 227 dongs at Coors Field because of the altitude. It has a reputation as a great place for launching dong. 8 players have more than 100 home runs at Coors Field since it opened in 1995. Yeah, the baseball goes sailing on out of there.
It does, yes.
Barry Bonds, as a visitor, has the most home runs in Coors Field history. He hit 26 of them.
You could probably say Barry Bonds for every National League West ballpark.
For a
As a
stretch
visitor.
of time.
As
Yep.
a visitor, yeah.
There you go. We are tied at 1 correct answer apiece.
The old version of Yankee Stadium in New York.
Old version.
Mickey Mantle.
Wow.
Mickey Mantle with 266.
Wow, good one, Brad.
The original was open from 1923 to 2008. It hosted a little bit of everything during the 85-year run, from baseball games, NFL games, soccer matches, concerts, boxing matches, and even visits from the Pope.
The Pope?
The Pope showed up.
Well, Aaron Judge has to be the leader of the new Yankee Stadium.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
He had he probably did it in one season, basically.
Right.
Last year.
By the way, you know what was really enjoyable about that All-Star game a few nights ago? That Aaron Judge wasn't there and they barely talked about him. That pleased me.
There's a lot of articles written about him. Couldn't have missed that. Goose Goslin, 32, as a visitor.
Goose Goslin?
Goose Goslin?
I mean, I remember Goose Gossage. He was a pitcher.
Oh, did I have a typo?
Is that a typo?
Well, no. Goose Gossage wouldn't be
He's
the
a
career
pitcher.
leader in home
Yes.
runs. He was a pitcher. I've never heard of
maybe
Goose.
he's the one that gave up the most. I'll bet you he's the one that gave up the most.
Well, yeah, he pitched there for a stretch of time.
He pitched a lot.
While. Yes.
Are you checking your work?
Yeah, I had my friend who's a baseball writer look that up for me, and that's what he sent me. So
Goose Gossage was a pitcher.
Yeah. Maybe there is a player from the old days named Goose Goslin.
Goose Goslin from 1923 to 1938.
Well,
He had
there you
32 home runs.
Yeah, Goose.
Third was Ted Williams. Fourth, Manny Ramirez.
Wow.
All right, so it's 2-1 Randy now. Oh, no, wait a minute.
Brad.
I do that every week. It's 2-1 Brad. Now, this next one will make you think. The next ballpark. The Rogers Center in Toronto.
Carlos Delgado.
You got to be kidding me.
He had a couple really, really good years.
That is correct. Carlos Delgado.
I had him in a home run pool league that I was in for many years.
Now, of course, I remember him, but, it had been a long time since I've heard his name said out loud. Carlos Delgado hit 175 home runs at that ballpark in Toronto. So help me. I have no idea what that makes the score.
3-1.
3-1 in favor of Brad?
Yep.
That's correct.
The Rogers Center is the first stadium in North America to have a fully retractable roof. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It hosted WrestleMania twice.
And a hotel with curtains wide open.
Yep.
Oh. It hosted WrestleMania twice. The first was WrestleMania 6, where Hogan wrestled the Ultimate Warrior. 12 years later, they hosted WrestleMania 18, which featured the Icon versus Icon match between Hulk Hogan and The Rock, which was a great match.
That was so much fun.
I got chills watching it live. That crowd in Toronto was absolutely mental during that match. One of the loudest wrestling crowds I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get the audio to that, Wapple?
Yes, I did.
He is coiled. There's a rock bottom. The rock bottom on Hogan. The hook of the leg. And this Hogan tipped out. Hogan tipped out. The rock bottom. And I don't think that the rock. Wait a minute. Is he going to hook up there? He is. Oh, cannot believe it. Oh, my God. What you going to do, Rock? My God, the Rock can't believe it. What you going to do? And Hogan scores in the right hand. Hogan sent the Rock for the Rock. The end could be near for the Rock at WrestleMania 18.
Lawler just completely wetting his pants. That was, I mean, I've never heard a wrestling crowd like that before.
The crowd was so loud you could almost not hear the commentators.
Yeah, barely at all.
It's insane.
When Hogan starts to hulk up, that place came unglued. 3-1 is the score here. We're doing Dad Fights 136. Home run leaders by stadium. 3-1 in favor of Brad Ryder.
Chicago's Wrigley Field.
Sammy Sosa.
Wow.
It was either that or Andre Dawson.
Wow.
With
this
two-
is
Cleaning up.
impressive,
Yeah.
Brad.
With 293 home runs, Sammy Sosa.
I would say
Greg
Ernie
Banks.
Banks before I would say.
He
I
had
was
to be
gonna-
close,
I was
too.
going to say Ernie Banks, but I wasn't sure if that was close enough.
The list of movies and TV shows to feature Wrigley is very long. Blues Brothers, A League of Their Own, The Natural, Rookie of the Year, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, ER, Crime Story, Chicago Hope, Prison Break, Perfect Strangers, My Boy, Chicago Fire, and Mike and Molly.
1060 West Addison, Wrigley Field.
As a visitor, Willie Mays hit the most home runs with 54.
Wow, it's 4-1, Brad?
Yeah, getting smoked.
Kind of mopping up here, Ryder. Here's your next ballpark, and this might be a little tougher, but that's what I thought about the Rogers Center in Toronto. Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore.
Adam Jones.
How in the hell do you know that?
Wow, that's a good one.
Same thing as Brad. I had him in a home run derby.
Adam Jones hit 146 home runs in his career. A lot
That's
of notable.
All he did was hit home runs.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
A lot of notable baseball moments happened at Camden over the years. Cal Ripken breaking the Ironman record, Eddie Murray and Manny Ramirez hitting their 500th home runs, and on and on and on. Alex Rodriguez, as a visitor, hit more home runs than anybody else, 34 in his career. Now it's 4-2, Brad.
Fenway Park in Boston.
Ted Williams.
I got it.
That was Randy.
Yeah, that seemed like
Nice.
We got a game.
Yeah, that was Randy. Ted Williams with 248. He tops the list at historic Fenway Park, despite missing 3 full seasons and most of 2 more because of military duty. On the
Still,
other,
that's impressive, isn't it? I mean, he missed 3 seasons, and after
Yes.
all these years,
Yeah.
Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle both had 38 as visitors.
All right, we got a game now. It's 4-3, Brad. Next up is Kauffman Stadium, home of the Kansas City.
George Brett.
We're tied.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that he hit that many home runs, but since he played so long.
George Brett hit 136 home runs. Kauffman Stadium's been around for 50 years now. And according to Danalysis, it looks like they're looking to get the hell out of there. The team owner announced they plan to leave sometime before their lease is up in 2030, and they hope to get a new ballpark built in downtown Kansas City. Well, that'll be a shame. I've always liked that.
That's a great ballpark.
Hey, I've always liked it. Well, I've never been there, but watching it on TV, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and I think that's okay.
And both of them are right next to each other.
Yeah.
The baseball and the football.
The Chiefs Stadium and the Royal Stadium basically share a huge parking lot for tailgating, and it's a great setup.
Aren't they out in the middle of nowhere?
They are. Yes. Kinda, yeah.
I know the trend is to have your beautiful city in the background and all that, in the backdrop, but I've always liked Kauffman's. George Brett brings me back to the 1980 World Series. I was just a 9-year-old kid, but of course I was dialed in as hell. And Brad and Randy will probably remember this. I didn't get it. Every time George Brett came on television during that World Series, my dad and my uncle would begin chuckling and laughing. And I finally turned around, because I loved George Brett. I turned around and said, "What's so funny?" And they said, "He's playing the series with hemorrhoids." Do you remember that, you guys?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
He had, Josh, you'll appreciate this. George Brett had absolutely brutal hemorrhoids going into the series. I think he actually missed a game in the American League Championship Series because the hemorrhoids were killing him.
Boy, he had him bad then.
But he had to play, and the announcers talked about it over, and my dad and my uncle thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
I remember one of my uncles had it when we were kids, and we thought that was pretty funny. Especially, he wouldn't sit down. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, I think at one point they tried to pick off George Brett at first base, and he had to dive back to the plate, and my dad and my uncle went, "Oh!"
Part of the commentary was in the dugout. I remember this. He wouldn't sit down. Like he stood the entire game in the dugout. Like most guys will sit down on the bench in the dugout, and that's when they were starting to talk about it in the commentaries. Like, oh, look at George Brett. He's standing up in the dugout because he's got hemorrhoids.
What an exciting tie game we have here now. You're right, Brad Ryder. You're right.
Yeah.
Poor bastard couldn't even sit on the bench
because he has hemorrhoids.
Why are you standing? No reason.
Just nerves, you know.
Just had a
Can't sit still.
sack of coins in the back of his pants.
This is going a lot faster than I thought it would. You guys are great. Minute Maid Park in Houston.
Berkman.
Wow. Yes, Lance Berkman with 137.
F me running.
In 2005, Minute Maid Park was the location for the first ever World Series game held in the state of Texas. Just last year, they hosted the Royal Rumble.
I did not think anyone was going to get Lance Berkman. You guys are performing wonderfully.
Albert Pujols with 35 as a visitor.
Albert Pujols has to be like the visitor leader in a lot of National League ballparks.
Yeah, he hit
and
some
American League ballpark.
Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, do you remember Lance Berkman's nickname, which in my opinion is one of the greatest nicknames in sports history? Picture his face, and it might come back to you. Okay, forget it.
No.
Seriously, underrated. They called Lance Berkman Fat Elvis.
Oh my gosh.
And Big Puma.
Puma?
Big Puma, I think, was his second nickname.
Oh, I never heard that one. Fat Elvis is absolutely perfect because Lance always had a little extra weight on him. He did, for an athlete. Yeah. And he looked like the latter days of Elvis.
Yeah.
Brilliant. 5'4" Randy. What a comeback, right?
Finish him.
5'4" Randy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Christ, it's my turn.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
Really not the excitement.
I get pumped. Here we go. We'll see where we go with this. Could Randy win it? Brad tie it? The park. PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
McCutcheon.
Randy wins. Maybe the greatest comeback.
What was he down, 4-1 at one point?
Yeah, he was down 4-1. Yep.
That is effing crazy.
And you got in pretty quick on those last ones. I had no shot.
Andrew McCutcheon is correct. He hit 96 home runs over there at that beautiful park they have in Pittsburgh. Wow, Randy. How come you're not being a dick about this?
Well, Brad's on the road.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. Well, and I don't play as much MLB home run show as you do, so.
Yeah, I love the home runs.
You know,
that was quite the finish to Dad Fights 100 plus 36. Your tiebreaker was going to be the old Metrodome.
well, Turkey Bucket, maybe, huh?
It was not Turkey Bucket.
Kent Herbeck.
It was Kent Herbeck. So, Brad, you going to be back in town by Monday?
Yeah, we get back sometime tomorrow, depending upon we win, lose, what time our flight is, stuff like that. I'll be back Monday.
Have you had a chance to go down to Broadway and enjoy Nashville?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did one night. I mean, but the game schedule, we play in the middle of the day. Sometimes throws that out. But we did one day, and I golfed one day. So yeah.
Okay, well, good.
Yep.
Have fun and be careful, and we'll talk to both of you on Monday. Thank you very much.
Good.
We'll be back here in short notice on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93X.
Yeah, it's 8:30 something or another here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. It's Friday. God, it's almost over. Our work week, that is. Hopefully some of the rest of you are also in the running for a couple days off here, too.
Yeah, a couple people text in and said it's their Friday as well. I like when we can pair that up.
Yeah.
And matches up like that.
No kidding. It's our Friday. It's their Friday. I love that.
Me too.
What else is going on around here? Oh, the New York Post. They're a big stinking deal. Let me be the guy to tell you. The New York Post is a big... They say that not shaving your bikini line is the trendy thing for women to do this summer.
Oh, that's news to me.
I have never...
Because you don't read the New York Post.
No, I don't.
You should. They got a lot of stuff in there. I've never seen that. I mean, I'm not like hanging out at the beach or anything like that.
Or usually looking too closely.
But no, I mean, we always joked about bikini spiders, but I've never seen a swarm of them. I've never seen them emerging from their nest.
I think maybe you had to be from the 80s to have used the term bikini spiders, because we used to use that all the time, bikini spider. What you're saying, you've never seen what exactly are you saying?
I've never seen anything protruding, from the bikini.
At the beach or at the...
In a magazine or anything.
Oh. Okay. Let me fill you in here. Making a little note to myself. If you hate waxing or shaving your bikini line, for beach season, they call it, just let her buck.
Well, I'll tell you, I would never, say what somebody needs to do with their body. That's none of my business. But I would be surprised if I saw it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd turn away or be so fascinated by this that I'd get kicked out of the beach.
You're drawn to it in a way that might get you in trouble with the authorities. They say if you don't like waxing or shaving, just let her buck. Because it's the hot new thing. It's a growing trend. And why wouldn't you want to be involved in the latest trend? You got to stay cool. You got to stay hip. You got to stay...
I don't think anyone enjoys the act of shaving or waxing, but me personally, I prefer things to be groomed.
You're not going to let it fly?
No.
If you had a friend that chose to not groom, and that's kind of become a thing, right? With the armpits and the legs, that's more common.
I know a couple people.
You do? Okay. Would you say something? Or, I mean, you seems like it bothers you a little bit, or are you just saying just for you personally, and you don't care about anybody else?
Oh, no, I don't care what anyone else does. But if, my best friend out of nowhere decided not to, just to stop grooming, I'd be like, oh, what's up, girl? What's going on?
If the two of you went to a beach together and she's laid down beside you and you catch a glimpse, you might say, what's happening down there?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What are you doing?
I mean, how much do you have where it's spilling out the sides?
The thing is you cannot shave for 2-3 days, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't shave every day, and you shouldn't get waxed all the time. But it grows back incredibly fast.
Really?
So especially bikinis now, they barely cover anything. Yeah, so you have to make sure. I probably wouldn't go to a pool party if I didn't shave that day.
All right.
For me, I have my guy do it once every couple months. Mine doesn't grow that fast.
That's normal.
Now, Josh, you're saying you haven't seen this.
No, I never have.
I'm going to go ahead and admit that from time to time, I do look at scantily clad women on the internet.
Okay.
All right. And as far as this being a trend, that's suddenly letting your bush
natural
go wild, on the topic of that being a trend, here's what I have noticed in the last year, maybe a little more. You see now and again these women on the internet in sexy bikinis, okay? And the bikini bottoms, I mean, they're so low.
Yeah, they have the front G-string now. That's like a trend.
Yeah, basically.
If this was 30 years ago, you'd be seeing mounds of pubic hair.
Yeah.
The bikini bottoms are so low. They begin right where the genitals begin. Anyway, as far as trends, and pubic hair trends, I guess, is what we're directly discussing here, what I have noticed for the last year and a half, they let it kind of grow out the top of the bikini bottoms. Anyone else notice that?
I haven't.
I've not, no.
Okay.
No, you're saying this is like a porn thing?
No,
I mean just girls on the internet.
Yeah, just
regular people.
I mean, not porn sites necessarily, Like, give me a site that might show women in bikinis.
Sears.com.
The Chive or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed that there are some women who are allowing a little bit of it to creep out the top of their bikini bottoms. And maybe that was the beginning of this movement. I don't know.
Because if you look at the pictures on the New York Post of examples that women have shown on Instagram and stuff, it's not just a little bit coming out the top. It's a lot down there.
It looks like they work at a pet store.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild stuff.
Waxing is expensive and painful, according to this article on the latest trend of letting it fly downstairs.
Now, Nick, I wonder if you're in the same boat as me. I remember, when you were intimate with someone, I remember the first time I ever saw it go the other way, where things were groomed meticulously.
Wow, you do remember that first time?
Yeah, I was confused. I didn't know people did this. I didn't know this could happen.
I don't know that I remember that first time, where suddenly there was nothing there. I don't remember.
Yeah, I looked around for a thief. Where did it go?
Yeah. You would think that I would have remembered that, because
So maybe
time after time we would see.
Did you hear about it beforehand? Do you remember? Probably too tough to remember.
I'm sure I saw it in a magazine or in a movie.
Okay, yeah, I'd never heard of it, and
You didn't
I
know
wondered,
that
is something wrong? Is there a condition I should be concerned about?
Which is completely understandable. You didn't know that women were removing their hair.
No.
And then suddenly, you saw nothing and wondered what gives.
Wait, that's what that looks like?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Right, unmasked. That's what it looks like.
Then here on the exact opposite, I didn't know for the longest time that there could be hair down there.
What do you mean?
Well, in your generation,
What, did you fail sex ed or something?
Well, I mean, it's just never experienced it. And then because we've talked about this before, high school kids are just the absolute worst. One girl didn't do anything about it down there, and then it was discovered, and then she got the awful nickname that followed her the rest of her high school career. And I just looking back, it feels so awful for
Can
her.
you tell us the nickname, or is it
I don't
not
think
safe for
so,
radio?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
It's bad.
So, okay, this is when it comes to the sex ed, you're right. I didn't think about that. My youngest, he just had to go through that, right?
Uh-huh.
He's pretty miserable about it, like a lot of the kids were. And so I watched it with him, thinking, hey, maybe I'll learn something. Or, just to see what was going on. And you're not kidding about the pubes. There were a lot of pubes in those pictures and videos.
Oh, yeah.
See, I just remember like grainy diagrams, like just hand-drawn diagram type stuff. We never saw actual pictures of it, so maybe I just didn't realize that.
So you didn't know, even as a high school kid, that women grew hair on their private area?
No.
My damn.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to see, because you were in the same district as my son.
Yeah.
And so you didn't see like the they were like really well animated pictures, and they had pubes, and it said Mrs. Wessel right next to it.
God.
You didn't
Dana,
see that?
No, I mean, well, then again, I did it in 1996. I'm guessing they've updated the curriculum since then.
People are taking guesses.
You should see it's bad.
Is it rough?
I was going to say, a lot of the photos, even if it didn't have it, people would draw it in there to be funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time.
Dana, people are taking guesses. Was the nickname Fur Burger?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to say it because it was a play on her last name. And then,
well, of course not. Yeah, you don't need to explain. No. I was just trying to throw a joke into the mix. Waxing is expensive and painful. Razor burn isn't much fun either. So the attitude now behind this trend of ladies growing out their pubic hairs, enough is enough. Having some hair down there shouldn't be seen as a radical act anymore. It should be more normalized, they say.
Yeah, I think just the spilling out would fascinate me, just because I've never seen, even back when it was very common not to groom.
I'm telling you, they just let a little bit be visible above the top of the bikini line. All right.
Is it like still trimmed, obviously, or it's just
yes.
as it shows up?
You can tell that it's been dummied down slightly. Look for this in your finer bikini, on your finer bikini, how do you call it, websites.
I know a girl who, we were talking about just the shaving in general. She dyed her for the 4th of July. She had some red, white, and blue arm hair. Very
really?
festive.
Cool.
Son of a bee.
I'm sorry, armpit hair.
Yeah.
Armpit hair.
That's even cooler.
Now, where else are they going with this? They close out this article saying, just a heads up, views at the beach this summer might be a little hairier than normal. Now, what throws me, even though this has been going on for a stretch of time, it still throws me to see the pubic hair trimming commercials on television.
I'm with you.
Yeah, same here.
Cannot effing believe that we've come to a point where there are 60-second commercials on television during all different kinds of programming, not late at night, anytime, where they're talking about, hey, bruh, you got a mess down there? Or, ladies, are you tired of it's just crazy to me that they have ads to trim your when we were kids, Josh, we would have probably fallen off the couch if there was a commercial having anything to do with your genitals.
Oh yeah, my parents would cover my eyes. My dad he'd unplug the television.
Tampon commercials were as far as we ever got.
Right, and then they use like they pour the blue liquid on there. I even remember going, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that."
Yeah, that's funny you remember that. That was shocking when they poured the blue liquid on the tampon.
I couldn't believe it. Right now, that's totally tame. Right, you'll see a couple of kiwis, and then there's a razor next to it, or was it Gronkowski's where he's in a bush or behind a bush or something like that?
Yeah, that was really clever.
And there's how many different tools on the market now for that particular grooming practice?
There's a lot. I mean, I had that razor that I used for the entire body, and then I gave that razor to you, and you use it for your entire body.
Yes, I did. There are companies making millions and millions into. I mean, how far we have come. It's still kind of mind-boggling. The first time I ever trimmed myself down there, I had to use a cigarette lighter.
Are you serious?
There was nothing. We had no products like that. I used my mother's cigarette lighter.
I had a butane torch. Very hot.
You want to know another swimsuit update?
Sure.
Some more swimsuit news. Speedos are trendy again.
I've never seen one in the wild.
Neither have I.
Me neither. Oh, I take that back.
So do I.
When we went to Hedonism too. Nick and I went there twice with the radio station in Jamaica. You got the nude side and the prude side.
Yep.
But they were all like European guys that would wear these Speedos. There wasn't any Americans that were wearing them. So, I have seen that before.
Speedos are on the rise in America. You know, like you were saying, Josh, it's usually these European types and whatnot that will parade around town in a Speedo. That's just what they've always done. That's how they wear them over there. In the United States, Speedo sales are up 54% this year. I don't know. We got more dudes.
I could never wear one.
Who got the courage to?
I feel pretty uncomfortable. And I'm very comfortable with my body, but I feel
You're too comfortable with your body.
I am very comfortable with my body, he says.
Your body makes the rest of us uncomfortable.
Nice warm fuzzy to end my Friday.
Sarcasm. I got to send you the link to sarcasm.
I know, I'm kidding.
Earlier this morning, Josh had to send someone a link to the definition of sarcasm. That's a true story. One more.
To you.
How about another note here? A listener says, how do you feel about the commercials? Speaking of commercials, and how they've changed. Now, I mean, there's no bar or rule, it seems, anymore on what you can advertise, and that's fine. I'm not complaining. What do you think about the commercials, a listener is asking, for that underwear that you wear instead of using a maxi pad?
Well, I haven't seen those.
It's
they kind of look like granny panties.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I've seen that commercial.
Oh, I bet that'd be good at night.
Okay, it's like if you have some real problems, here's this big, thick, absorbent pair of underwear that you can put on. I'm not trying to make fun of people who have that problem, but I'll tell you this much. The first time I saw that television ad for this big, fat set of underwear that are going to help you if you have some, leaking problems, ladies, I was watching television with a gal friend, and when the commercial popped up, she said out loud, "Oh, for goodness sake."
Yeah, is that relatively new? I just saw it for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it seems new to me.
I've never heard of it before because it's supposed to be like thinner and all that.
That's new to me. Popular social media influencers, by the way, are proudly posting pictures of their pubic hair creeping out of their underwears and bikini bottoms. That's how the trend has gotten going.
X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Hey, here's the deal. Something new for you on our program. For the rest of the summer, we'd like to take a little bit of time each Friday to dump a word up to a local member of our armed forces, active or veteran, just to say hello, thank you, maybe even make a new pal along the way. If you have a deserving veteran or active duty service member you'd like us to highlight, tell us about them at 93x.com. We'll jaw jack a little bit when these folks come on Fridays, and also make a donation to Folds of Honor in their name. We want to thank Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch for sponsoring this. Today's guest is a cat by the name of Joseph Eartham. Hello, Joe.
How's it going, guys?
We're good. How are you?
We are currently driving to Asheville, North Carolina.
Whoa. My damn. Now, why would you drive to Asheville, North Carolina? You and your family? We understand you have a family?
Yep, yeah. No, my wife's family does a reunion every 3 years, and that's where it is this year. I'm in the middle of Wisconsin right now. So.
How long of a drive are you looking at?
I think it's 17 total. We're going to stop in Indianapolis tonight.
So
17 hours.
You're driving with the wife and the kids, and you're heading to North Carolina. That's Flair country,
Yeah,
Joe.
and she's asleep in the car right now, too. So.
Oh,
wow.
slam on the brakes and honk the horn.
No, God.
Oh, wait, no, that's a bad idea.
In the old days of radio, we would insist on some kind of a wacky prank. Joe, you were nominated by a good friend of yours named Kayla. Can you tell us real quick your relationship, especially while the wife's sleeping? It's the perfect timing. Your relationship with Kayla?
So I met her and her husband probably about 8-9 years ago, and you guys obviously know what the Chive is, right?
Sure.
And so there was like a Minnesota group, and I met them through that, and we've been friends ever since.
That's cool.
That's really
awesome.
interesting. You know, I've met some people here in town who are part of the Chive Army or whatever it's called, and I'm a fan of that website as well. Here's what Kayla said about you when she nominated you, Joe. She said, Joe has been a great friend of ours for the last 8 years. He will hit his 20th year of service with the Minnesota National Guard in October of this year. Throughout his years of service, he's had 3 deployments. He's always put his soldiers above himself and without a doubt has dedicated himself to the Minnesota National Guard in the United States. Love you, buddy, is what Kayla wrote about you.
Sounds like her.
That's very nice.
Yeah, it is very nice.
20 years it'll be in October?
Yeah, 20 years.
Man, is there any way you could sum up the last 20 years? 3 deployments involved in that?
Adventurous, that's for sure. And I definitely have met some of the greatest people in my life through the Army. So
that's great.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's really cool. I mean, of your deployments, is there any stories you'd be willing to share, or did you really like one of the places you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a really funny one. We were actually in going north of Baghdad. I was running convoys, and I was a gunner in a Humvee truck, and I had to take a deuce. So I stopped the convoy and had to squat on the side of the highway, and that was it.
I would imagine that's somewhat common, I mean, because you guys can't run into like a Starbucks, easily.
No. Yeah, no quick trips.
Yeah, nothing like that.
How long was the convoy? Was there like 15 trucks behind? Everyone waiting on them?
Yeah, I mean, about 20 semis that we were hauling, yeah.
Oh, what are we stopping for? Oh, Joe's got to take a deuce.
And they really all had to put her in park until you were done?
Yeah.
Did you put a little flag up like a landmark? Hey, that's where Joe did it.
I always think, too, because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when it happened, and we were around all these buildings. And still to this day, I was really hoping some bad guy did not have his sights on me. And we were like, you know what? We're going to let this guy go.
Wouldn't that be nice to think that there's a couple of them who would just say, I can't take a man out in this situation?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're all human beings here.
Joe, that story is so perfect for your first visit to the Half-Ass Morning
Yes,
Show.
it is.
It's absolutely perfect.
I love that Wapple suggests it's a waypoint. Like, hey, where are you guys? Well, we're 2 clicks away from Joe's poop.
My parents are probably listening to this right now, too. It's great.
Well, tell them we said hello. As we mentioned earlier, you got a wife and kids. You got a couple of young kids. How old are the young children?
Michael is 8, and Lauren is 5.
I bet they keep you busy. What are they into? What kind of stuff do they like?
Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah.
Very familiar,
And,
sure.
My daughter, she's Barbies and princesses, obviously, so.
Yeah.
Well, man,
you got a nice-looking family. A lot of this stuff is up on 93x.com. We really appreciate your time, and as a coward, thank you for what you do. Because otherwise, I'd have to do it.
The 5 of us would be screwed.
Don't get me wrong, Joe. If you listen to this show regularly, you probably already know that I'm no stranger to taking a deuce on the side of the road. But you put me in a Humvee and I'm a gunner, our chances are low of success. I'll tell you that.
When you're on that e-bike, just let it fly when you're going fast.
Just crop dusting, I suppose. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us this morning. Have a safe trip out to Asheville, North Carolina. I hope this isn't the only time that we get a chance to talk.
Definitely not, guys. I appreciate your time.
There goes Joe Eartham, 20 years in the Minnesota National Guard and 3 deployments in his career. Nice to meet you, Joe.
Great guy.
And thanks again, Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Every Friday, we're going to try to get around to having a quick conversation and do this throughout the summer.
Yeah, jump on the site, nominate somebody.
Do it.
This is fun. We're lucky we get a chance to do this. Happy 37th birthday to Nick. You're a towel. I'm not a towel, from your wife, Towley Sheeses. This text says, can I get a birthday shout-out from my husband, Kyle? 33rd birthday today. Skinny dips and bong rips, Jesus sent that in. Happy birthday to Casey from Paroli, hitching a ride home, Jesus. And for everyone else, have an awesome weekend.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.